Oh, look at this.
We have begun.
Can't give us anything. Can't give us anything.
We're in a new spot.
The phone is on.
My laptop is on.
Oh, let me not be that guy.
Look at this angle, y'all. We look
I mean, that smell
professional.
like seafood over here.
I mean, it's crab cakes.
You
You guys got crab cakes?
dusty crab cake fingers.
Who got crab cakes? What? Crab cakes?
Yeah, she had like little mini mashed up crab cakes that look like children's cookies.
First
Wow.
of all, why do they have to be children's cookies?
Because that's what they look like. Look like a little kid made them cookies. But you told me they were crab cakes.
They
And I
are
was
crab
like,
cakes.
Yeah, it's a little
We had a
bit
little seafood night, you know,
it was
Friday.
more cake than crab.
That's from Friday?
No.
Oh.
I was about to
Crab
say,
cakes
I
are
was going to say, well, we know Mel finna be off in a minute.
The crab cakes aren't from Friday. The crab cakes
Amen.
from
But to
yesterday.
get the scooping for the tooth.
Right.
Yeah.
The quick podcast.
Anybody, we are now sponsored by Pepto.
Oh man. So am I the shot? Am I the shot?
Everybody's in the shot.
Everybody.
Mel, you did a good job with your camera work.
You did.
You know,
Hey, we are filming from the most powerful phone it is, besides the S10, and that's the S9 Plus.
Yes.
Samsung sponsor us. You know what I
absolutely
mean?
not.
Yes, and give me.
They tried to get me Samsung, but they couldn't.
Mm.
You know, I'm gonna get you a little folding phone too, cause I'm just that kind of person.
Yeah.
My wife said I can't have it, but say yes.
Give me a Note 10 while you're at it. I'm gonna wait till August to get one.
Oh, the Note 10?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I'm waiting for
basically
the
what the folding phone is. It's
Well,
a-
but the phone doesn't have a pen, and that's why I'm not gonna get in on it.
you know, that's what I want. That's what I love too. I love the pen. Oh, look at that phone. You know,
I need a
look,
pen.
we look like stop motion characters. Like,
Are we live?
Yeah.
We're not recording it for the podcast with the audio.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, it's
Mic
like-
training.
so we did do all
Mic
the
training.
sounds and stuff.
Yeah, we did mic tricks.
We did.
All right, so we want to get into this cold start.
Yes.
Conversation.
So, you guys, Jussie.
Yes.
It's been a back and forth roller coaster. Like when we posted it on the group saying that there might be some FBI evidence that he might not have staged this.
You and this gum.
Oh,
Wow.
we're
You're
recording
making
this on the-
Melodef with your masticating.
Sorry.
Smack.
Yeah.
But smack.
But yes, so the FBI is suggesting that maybe Jesse was lying. But now, the 16 counts have been handed down, have been indicted. 16 counts of
Jussie.
felony
Oh.
falsifying reports.
Oh.
So all that means is that the process is playing itself out, and they've laid down what he's being charged with. But the FBI is saying that Chicago PD might have jumped the gun. Old Carl Winslow over there just swore this man was guilty. I mean, just really indicted this guy's character. You know what I mean? Just kind of attacked his character, in my opinion.
Mm.
I mean, what do we think about this?
Uh,
We haven't talked about this yet, so
no.
Well, Jussie.
Oh, guys, I'm not ready.
Somebody else go.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
I can't stop laughing.
Okay, so like I said, I will be upfront. I'm not gonna be one of those people that are like, oh yeah, the whole time. No, I thought this dude was guilty. I thought he was pretty guilty. The evidence that was presented was just like, this is crazy, but I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah.
I've seen crazier things happen.
So do we know what evidence was presented?
So the evidence presented, like you know, there was
I heard about the check.
the checks,
Right.
which and talking to the two guys,
The text messages.
the text messages,
The camera.
the camera.
Camera.
So with that being presented, I was just like, yeah, this guy lost his mind a little bit just because he wasn't getting a little raise or whatever. Whatever. So I believe Carl Winslow when he said that.
Not Carl Winslow.
What he said.
Why
that
you that police officer?
Chicago police.
Right.
I'm
Carl
so
Winslow.
tired.
I don't know.
Family matter.
I
So
know.
But the FBI is going behind this and now is saying something different. So it makes me wonder a little bit. On one side, I'm like, okay, was Jesse's character attacked in a press release, which it should not have been? You know, you should be we should all be neutral at this point as far as like people handling the proceedings. But on the other side of it, like, what incentive would the FBI have to clean this up for Jesse?
I don't know. But one thing that I always fault people at this day and age anyway, especially when it comes to putting out things that happen or allowing things to come to light, is you have to be poised. Yeah, you got to be a little bit more poised in your decision to put the things going on in your life out there, because believe it or not, the state of the court of public opinion weighs so much now that it makes people come to the conclusions quicker. And it seems like more people focus on what the public believes rather than what the facts present. You know what I'm saying? So it is very hard to start saying what's real and what's not, because at one time sometimes the news people they used to just put out facts and say, oh, this is what's really happening. But now they're like, nah, whatever people think, let's just keep pushing that agenda. You know what I mean? So they can make a person guilty or innocent before it's even been proven. You know what I'm saying? So
they will swing the way of what
So whatever they feel like is trending,
they have to swing one way because it's like, okay, that gets rated.
And whether it be negative or positive, they swing into the public's opinion. They don't swing to the things that are true. They just swing towards the social pendulum swing. Like, so they go towards, they say, hey, everybody on Facebook believes Jesse is guilty, so let's push that.
And the memes,
and you have few people
pour in. You know.
Well, that's part of the point I was trying to make. It's pretty much a lose-lose situation for everybody. Especially the way news break. Now the focus is breaking news the quickest versus being accurate. So with Twitter and Facebook, it's all about who's gonna be the first one to put it out there, versus real investigation, right? That occurred 10, 15 years ago. So it's a shame, right? They do whatever they can and put it out there, and once it's out there in the universe, it's hard to take it back.
Pandora's box.
It
is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't really into it when it first came out. I was just like, oh, another story about a black man being framed for something. I think that's because I didn't have all the details to anything. I think it wasn't until I actually listened to Righteous and Ratchet and I paid attention to it a little bit more. But I think just reading through the articles, it was just kind of like, and then looking at the interview, I think that's what kind of like caught my attention, like the interview where he was like saying all the things that he was not going to do because he felt like it would be giving over his privacy. But I'm just like, I think that's what made me, I didn't know if he was still guilty or not guilty. I was still kind of like really figuring out like that whole ordeal. But I think it was it did raise suspicion because it's like, if you didn't do it, then what is there to hide? Like he's like, I have important people in my phone, and y'all might try to go through my bruh. We only need the information that's pertaining to this case. I mean that could happen. You get access to someone's phone. I mean, don't they have access to a phone anyway? Isn't on the phone number a tracking number? They're listening right now. But no, I think that was kind of like my overall general kind of like, thought of everything, especially like the most recent article that I've seen where they were basically kind of like you were saying, like they were pulling back on what they first presented. And it's like, well, why didn't you just like wait until you gather all of the, information? But I think, to Chris's point, it's just like trying to be the first, person to get it out there so that, you have that interaction, that engagement rather than the facts. So now it was like, as a society, we're going back and forth. Did he do it?
Yeah.
Did he not do it? Did he actually do it for his salary? Then you have, Empire writers tweeting, like, we still support da 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 da. We didn't write him out in any scenes. So it's like, are they doing? Is that a part of the whole scheme? Is that a part of the tactic that they're trying to go after?
And I mean, that's technically with the writers of Empire. That's technically true because we were only hearing reports.
Right.
That this could happen, like he could be suspended or cut out of scenes. We never heard it from them directly.
Yeah.
The direct statements I have a problem with again is the communication officer with the Chicago PD, old Carl over there. Just giving us the plot, like he's like, this is the plot. He did this as a ploy, and just saying that, just going out there and saying it when he really didn't have to.
Yeah,
it doesn't help that Chicago PD has a horrible reputation, so that's another piece of this this puzzle that kind of people already distrust that police department. So that doesn't help at all.
Plus, it's just unfortunate that those two things are the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a misfire. You know what I'm saying? And it was Jussie could have did a better job at keeping this under wraps until it became factual. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just allowing us to form our own opinions about it, and now you're gonna have to fight all that. You know what I'm saying? Just to even prove your innocence, because most people see him as guilty now. They don't see him as innocent.
And I know it's an emotional situation on his part because, as far as we know, he was attacked. And he's dealing with it. And having to go back into the public eye with these emotions at the concert or public appearance or whatever, where he says he's the gay Tupac. I mean, that to me was just not helpful.
Yeah,
in any sense.
That was not necessary.
I was just
like,
what you gonna do now? Get Thug Life tattooed across your chest.
Exactly. It's like
all that stuff like that.
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? I mean, you must have thought you were still on set at Empire.
Exactly. So not helpful.
It didn't help, and that's what I'm saying. He kept driving this thing, and it's just like, if you just fell back, because like most people that get into a situation with the law and stuff like that, they most of the time their lawyers and stuff will tell them to fall back. Your PR people, let your front people, let the people that you have in place handle this. But you fall back, and we will tell you when to speak.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But now it's just like he just stepped out front and started putting himself. He started victimizing himself when he could have just let things fall into place and let his team handle what they need to handle. You know what I mean? But now he like I said, he just made a mess of it. You know what I'm saying? Now he can't come back from it as easily and unscathed as he should have. You know what I mean? So now he don't he gotta fight through all that. So it's gonna be an uphill battle for Mr. Smollett.
Did any of y'all still watch Empire?
No.
I haven't watched Empire since the second episode.
Since the first season.
I do.
You
still watch it.
You still watch it?
Power.
I watch a lot of TV actually. It's just like with life and all that stuff like that. I get to watch bits and pieces of television. I am I'm at least 6 years behind on television.
6 years.
I never. I'm just being honest with people. I never watched an episode of Game of Thrones and stuff like that. I'm just like so behind when it comes to. Only show that I really watch is Blackish. That's the only show I'm up on because it reminds me of the Huxtables for some reason, and I don't have a lot of time. Like I have to hurry home, do what I have to do, and get to sleep. See, you ain't ready to be the conductor again. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Crab cake got you acting crazy.
Actually, Steve is going to be Ringo today.
Okay.
Oh, you
all right?
Well,
I'm George Carlin.
Let me tell y'all something. You know what
I'm saying?
I ain't got my cheat sheets for the beginning, so it's gonna be a little different today.
Of course.
Yes, because my phone over there.
Freestyle it, new location, new plug.
Yeah, we're gonna redo Roland's whole office. It's gonna be Convrs8 Studios. We're throwing everything out. No, I'm just playing, Roland.
All right.
Just playing. I wonder how does the this sound actually?
We'll find out.
All right, are you guys ready for the audio?
I haven't did it freestyle in so long. I don't know if I can do it.
I believe in you.
I gotta do something with my gum because I'm really tempted to chew this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let me put that away for you.
Nah, man, I need to hear from emotional support.
What?
Today we are. I'm kidding.
I gotta cook. This is my cup.
Yeah, that's yours. I'll put it on top. It can be emotional support from over here.
Yeah, just like that right there. All right,
All
ready?
right, you ready?
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neal.
And this your girl Melody G.
With special guest
Chris Dorelus.
Hey! Y'all ain't as enthusiastic as you should sound, but it's okay. I really can't tell what y'all sound like without the head.
It sounds great.
Mella really don't
The
took my
acoustics.
power away. But what's up, everybody? This is Convrs8.
Yes.
We are here for episode 205. I don't know if we on 205 yet, but it means second season, episode 5.
Yeah.
Just for you people that don't know.
Yes.
We are a show of collective of minds coming to you to give us our thoughts on topics that we deem noteworthy.
Yes.
What? Why you laughing?
I'm doing
you know what? It's over. This conversation.
Yes.
I was encouraging you. I was doing like a pantomime.
Oh, what?
I thought
Collecting of the mind. I was like,
What?
pantomime's supposed to be silent.
was I saying anything?
That's all I heard from side.
I laughed.
Kept cracking itself.
Well, we are coming to you live from our new neutral super secret location.
This ain't neutral.
It's neutral. It's none of our domiciles for once.
Woo.
You know, so
Let's say we on the edge of the Atlanta Earth.
we are.
We're in the ocean.
You know,
We are.
right now. This
We are
is,
definitely OTP.
This is the desert that leads to
Lair.
the promised land.
Yes.
But yeah,
Oh,
you know what I'm
goodness.
saying? What's up, everybody? This is
Okay.
Convrs8, man.
So yes.
Start the show.
So we'll get into it. How you living, Melody? Ladies
Oh.
first.
Sure. What? Do you want to go there today?
Oh, you guys are next to each other.
Ah.
How
I did
am
it
I
again.
living? I am living really good, actually.
Really well.
Really well.
Good job. Act like you have a mother.
I don't. Love you, Mom.
You heard? I was about to say you heard that.
Miss Miranda?
We just talked to you.
Miss Miranda?
We talked to you twice today.
But no, this has been a really good week. Went to the Travis Green concert
Okay.
You
on
did that.
Thursday.
Mhm.
Yep.
And what's crazy is that I didn't even know that Rashad knew him because they're in the same fraternity. So I might have some direct connections coming soon.
Mm.
Travis Green, look out for my videos coming to you soon. Now,
Travel.
but no, other than that, like I've just really been kind of like in a place where I'm just really tirelessly seeking God for where my focus should be. I think just being a creative, like sometimes it's really hard to kind of set your focus on one particular thing, especially like with all the talents that I have. But I think there's a way that I'm able to exercise all of my talents, but not be overwhelmed and stress myself out. And so I've just been kind of like really seeking God on just where my focus should be. And I think he's continuing to make it clear each and every day. So I have a few products that is getting ready to launch, not anytime soon, because I want to trust the process and I don't want to rush it. And I want to make sure that when it is released, I have everything in place to cater to whatever my target audience needs. But I have a few things cooking in the background I'm really excited about because I told myself And I've been praying to God that if I do quit this job and put in my 2 weeks, I would love to work for myself.
Okay.
I don't want to have to go to another job where I have to clock in on somebody else's time and not have the flexibility of having my own schedule. So that's what I'm doing. I've been praying about it, and I feel like God continues to open doors that I don't even ask to open. But that's what the Bible says. You ask, you seek, you find, you knock, the door will be open unto you. So just trust in Him in this time, in this season, and see where He takes me.
Awesome.
Good job, though.
Yeah, man, it can happen for you. I believe it. I definitely believe it.
Thank
I
you.
believe it, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got the skills to get them deals.
Yep, I'm excited about what God is doing in this season. I don't know what it's gonna be fully, but the little nuggets that He's been giving me along the journey it's been enough to just be excited for what's to come.
Hey, God has gone ahead of you.
Yeah,
Just like
like Angel said today.
Amen.
Y'all get to hear sermons. Huh?
I mean,
Yeah,
get to
do
hear
that
it
in my
tomorrow.
But you didn't hear it?
Nah, it don't come out to Tuesday.
No, it comes out Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Cause last week it came out Tuesday.
Well, this week is coming out
You know
Monday.
what I mean, I was waiting because
Facebook.
I had ton of, I put
Live.
it on, but not. I want to hear it when I'm in Victor. I can't watch it. I'm running everybody over.
Well, just don't look at the screen.
Who? That's just like saying I cut the TV on, not to look at it. Just listen.
People
to
do it on YouTube all the time.
I don't do that. I focus. Actually, when I be driving, I watch movies and drive,
Okay.
but
Okay,
not in the big
and,
truck. Though. That can kill people.
and
Yeah, let's not.
cut.
Okay.
Right now.
There you go. Sure. So, how you living, special guest, Kristen Ross?
Great. Life is great. Just this past week, I was down in Orlando for a conference.
Vacating.
Well,
Y'all look like y'all having fun down there, man.
Yeah.
it was fun, but it was work as well. Learned a lot. It's a conference for church planners, so we just heard, heard about different resources, and just Francis Chan was down there preaching.
Oh man,
was inspired by that brother. But
spiritual.
He is. Yeah, he is.
I'm talking about.
But mainly it was just confirmation of the things that we were already doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was positive, and just reassured us to keep at it, right? Trust the process, the theme for this year. Just continue to be, grow and be better at the things that we're already doing. So came back, hit the ground running. Invested in some teens this week, so enjoying life, staying busy, but enjoying life.
Cool.
Sounds great.
That's good.
So how you living, Stevie Neal?
Yes.
I was
I
going to
was.
say something about Francis Chan.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm curious to hear what you had to say.
I say it later.
Okay. I'm living well. It's always just have a lot of time with my thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, I have a similar vision of being able to be more flexible as far as work, using your talents, to actually prosper yourself. All that opens up. So, I have a graphics company out, or I like to call it a creative company. You know what I mean?
It is.
I've been doing some designs, of course, for the podcast, and also just I have some proposals floating out there as well.
Okay,
so things are cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, just really being intentional about, with the voiceover stuff, that I want to be a part of that creative company. If someone wants some voiceover stuff.
Yeah.
I'm training. I'm coming.
Plug. You see that?
Yeah. So I'm in a similar spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but you're on a level like, stuff you're
I don't know
producing
what
for
to
the
talk-
church right now.
It's all
It's
God.
like, is
I'm just a
amazing.
vessel.
So I was in a similar space with that, and just really, we had the marriage weekend, and
That's
so
awesome.
still, oh yeah, that's right, we hadn't been on since then.
Yeah.
So sad.
We missed each other, y'all.
So just being more intentional, almost 7 years in with my wife, like retooling some things. I mean, you know, we went out for sushi last night and had a deep conversation about that.
Y'all are dope, by the way.
know.
I just want to put that out there.
Absolutely, they know all the spots too.
We've never invited Chris.
Ooh.
You're too busy, man. You got like on, Chris. I try to mind you out, but you just got so much going on.
No, that time you invited me out, I didn't get the invite.
Oh yeah, you talking about the party.
Y'all was up there cool, clean and stuff like that, looking like
Cool.
y'all
I was
90s
super
R&B
underdressed.
album.
I was super underdressed, but yeah.
So dumb.
But yes, so over sushi,
Yep.
we were discussing that. Just really keeping things fresh at different stages of marriage, obviously, you know.
Oh, like the sushi. Keeping it fresh like the sushi.
I like that. I like that.
Ain't fresh like
See,
crab cakes,
she
though.
can't turn it off, guys. So yeah. So I was just in those two spaces really this week. And then just excited to get back on with this location. We pulled it together pretty quickly.
You know.
So yeah. So excited about things to come. So how you living? There's Jay.
We recording?
We are recording.
Yes,
yes.
Do you want to see the screen?
You know, I really feel out of place.
Here.
Because
you go.
Nah, I don't want it. Nah, I need to learn how to.
Dun,
Keep
dun,
it away
He
from me.
does.
Keep it away from me. I need to learn how to be without it. This is my vices.
Break the dependency.
That. I guess I've been kind of in the same place as both of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just trying to figure out what's my next step for just because I was having an interesting talk with Cliff today, and most of the time when I talk to people, they kind of like it's like God helped me put things that are in place that are already there, but I'd never put them in the order that they need to be put in. So I was just like, I can go ahead and do this, you know what I mean? But I was just like, nah. He was like, what was holding you back? And I was like, well, nothing really, you know. So, trying to start a company, you know what I mean, just with the whole logistics side, you know what I mean, and trying to make that pop. But I want to be productive, but I don't want to work as much as I work now. And I understand having your own business, you have to work pretty hard. I understand all that stuff like that. I mean, because I have had several businesses over my adult life. But you know, just actually doing this just to kind of like, you know, be my way of life, to give me the flexibility to do the things that I want to do, to be home, present for home, church, all kinds of stuff. Just allow me access, you know what I'm saying, to more time, you know what I mean, to be able to create my own time where I don't have to come in and say, well, I have to block all this time off for work, and because I really have to block off 16 hours out of my day, you know what I'm saying, just for work, you know what I mean, from beginning to end, you know what I mean. And I was like, dang, I don't have a lot of time for life or just sleep, you know what I mean. So that, and just trying to get back to writing, you know what I mean, just like, just my wife, she was telling me, she's like, oh, you don't write no more. And I was like, you know, man, picking up my pen and pencil, my notepad, don't collect it. A lot of dust, because I had to knock dust off it this morning. So, you know, just getting back just to writing the poetry that I used to write on the level that I used to write it. And even just like some of the brothers like Jamel and Armani, they were like, hey man, you need to get back to writing. Write again. You know, everybody, you know, we know you dope. Get back to the dopeness. And I'll be like, you know, I ain't got time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of saying I ain't got time. I'm trying to create time. And then I had another brother, I don't know, just like since the marriage weekend, every brother that came to me was talking about, hey, you need to make things deliberate, do things deliberately. You know, and I was just like, you know, I hate, because I'm a person, I hate to make plans and they fall through. Because it really discourages me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, okay, I'm a 0 or 100 guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very hard for me to go 100 for 5%. You know what I'm saying? And I try to do that daily, but it's such a strain. You know what I mean? I haven't put that in my that's not my mentality now. You know what I'm saying? Because even like Savannah, she was like, you know, you either gonna do it 100%, or if you can't do it, if it's not 100% ready, you be like, I ain't doing it, I'll wait. So, you know what I mean? Trying to get that mentality out of me, trying to be more disciplined, trying to put things in order to just make life better. You know what I mean? Just, and like, I never really like stress about money I make. I mean, God has blessed me to be able to make money with my hands, my mind, all that. You know what I mean? I never lacked with that part. You know what I'm saying? God has never put me in a position where I was just like totally without. He always made a way for me to be able to make a living. You know what I'm saying? And he gave me the creativity to be able to do that, because a lot of times as anybody that know me, I can make something out of nothing real fast. You know what I'm saying? But actually having a plan, that's not my gifting. I like I tell people, that's not my gift. You know what I mean? I can make plans in the air. Like I can think of something real quick and be like, okay, in the middle of chaos, I can put it in order. But if I have to plan before I go into chaos, I'll be like, I kind of got to be in the situation to make it happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my power ain't sitting on the outside saying, okay, first we're going to do this, first we're going to do that. I just walk into chaos and be like, oh no, that don't go there. That's not right. You need to do this. Hey, you, and you do that. You, and you do that. I do that and make it work. But just sitting on the outside making a plan, that's more of my wife forte.
Well, the good thing is you're married to somebody who is good at that.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that usually happens, right? Our wives are strong in some things that we're weak at, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I know, man, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for my wife. And I mean, there's plenty of people I'm sure that you know who are great at logistics and operations and you know, just executing. So as long as you continue to be open and you know, share your dreams with people that you trust, man. There's nothing that can, stop you, nothing that can hold you back. So,
and just knowing that there'll be times where you will make plans and they will not go exactly the way that it goes. I mean, but that's all right, because what you learn from those things falling through will lead to like other stuff. Like look at us in this show. A lot of stuff that we had in mind. Some of that stuff didn't work. You know what I mean? Whether it was like technology wise or just it just evolved into something else. You know. So, but we wouldn't have learned that if we didn't try what we had planned.
Right?
That's
absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? So, I think you're gonna get this off the ground, like the logistics. I mean, you've been a part of the business for so long, and so it's just going like getting to that point of, you know what, I got this. You know what I mean?
And also, I know one thing I do, I have to get out of the mode of, I don't like failure because I'm a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing that my wife, she's like, that's your thing. You don't like to fail. You know what I mean? And if you fail, you really take it harder. You'll say that's your way out. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean? But really, it's for me to just keep, do it again, but come with a better plan. You know what I'm saying? It's like, gather up the pieces that work, leave the pieces that fail, and go after it. You know what I mean? But I just feel like, I messed up, and God don't want me to do this. And I go do something else. Because just even like in my, every time I tell a story about like what went on with like my school and stuff like that, Julius hate to hear this story. So Julius Johnson, I'm not going to tell the whole story, Julius, if you look, you know what I'm saying? Because Julius will walk out the room, he's like, I just can't even listen to that part. It's too hard. You know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of like, I was always able to give up on things and start something new. You know what I'm saying? It may not even be my skill set, but I was just able to, anything that I go into, I can do it. Just give me 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Give me a few weeks of doing it repetitively. I will learn how to do it. You know what I mean? And that, to me, allowed me to escape a lot of things that I should have been doing from the job.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yes, Godspeed, my friend.
I believe in you.
Got real deep, real fast.
You like you believe in me.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I believe you can fly.
No.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I'm about to say,
We had
the
our
Art
show
of
for that.
Pie.
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
The arcade.
Going to jail, Robert.
Robert. Oh, snap.
Okay. So
that's Chester's Pizza.
Oh,
we we got a hope. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Is that what I think it is? Oh my god.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the background right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We cool.
Before
like
we
that.
go any further into this podcast, please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Ring that bell.
So that you know when we go live, and also when Blockbuster Diamonds and Melody Acts drops during the week.
We're coming back, y'all. We had life happen.
Yeah. But
Life
you guys
happens.
understand
We got
that,
families
right?
we love and like to see.
And too many people were talking about Captain Marvel. Like, we want to do something with Captain Marvel, but too many people talking about it.
Yeah.
So we'll do
Yeah,
something
you
else.
know, I went to see
And-
it last night too. It was a pretty good movie, man. It was one of Marvel's better origin story movies.
Yeah, he made a good point with that, because a lot of the first movies aren't strong in the Marvel universe. Aside from Iron Man.
Right.
Iron Man was probably
Yeah, the best one. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go see it Tuesday
Tuesday.
on the
Why
cheap
Tuesday?
$5.
Oh.
AMC. So I get that $5 foot.
Also, for those who are listening, you can go to YouTube, type in CONVRS, the number 8, into your search bar. You can find us. We are Convrs8 Media Collective. Subscribe, like our videos,
We
watch
got our
them,
own Euro
get
now.
our viewership up.
Yeah.
And click that notification bell so that you know when a new video drops.
And if you just got ears and no eyes, go to Spotify, iTunes,
Google
Podcast,
and more.
and more. You know
You
what I'm
don't
saying?
discriminate.
We don't discriminate. We
Don't
got you
discriminate.
covered.
Yes, we do.
We ain't got Braille yet, so you can't just rub your hands like that.
Our audio is exquisite.
Yeah.
So, yes, check it out. So now we're going to get into.
No, somewhere. Get out.
We're going to get into the topics.
Yes.
So we're going to start
French
with.
for the topics.
Yes. Darius speaks.
Various,
Fluent languages.
various languages.
Ule, buku, say, whatever the rest of it.
Sesqua. I don't know what that means. So
Yes.
in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
the first black-owned natural hair beauty store
I'm so
opened
glad.
up.
I'm so glad it's black owned.
That
Yes.
Hawaiian silk was flying off the racks.
Must have been because the store made $50,000 in its first day.
Yes. So I wonder. So there's no other hair stores that's in close proximity.
Apparently not.
Not in Nashville.
In Nashville,
But
like
you would
middle
think
Tennessee.
Black owned.
But I wonder
Exactly,
if
not
it's
black owned, but
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Oh,
black
black
owned
owned.
because there
Yeah.
could be other ones that.
yeah,
aren't.
oh yeah,
Oh.
you know what I'm
Got
saying?
it,
You know,
got
we
it.
plenty of Asian
Mm,
guys.
plenty of them, you know.
They got our whole system on lock.
I'm
You
telling
know what I'm
you,
saying?
like, we haven't figured it out yet, but
We
we're starting.
figured it out.
We're starting.
We starting because
Exactly.
I be thinking about a bunch of business. I got a barbershop out there. I can't wait to get me an investor. But anyway,
You're gonna be
back
like
to Nashville.
you're gonna be like a barbershop, like Keith David just opened one with like Shark Tanks in it and stuff.
Nah, I ain't
Oh.
about all this. It's an experience I'm trying to build.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? like it's good because it's like we should already have a market in this, right?
Yes,
because we
consume it.
We consume.
We spend the money.
Put it back into our own community.
That Malaysian one or 220 or whatever they had, I can't remember the hair names.
Listen,
I just walked in there and I seen
that
codes in there. They had different codes for hair. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know because one lady she was in there. I need the blonde kind and blah. And I was like, I ain't even know hair was that serious, but I just thought you said give me that.
Yeah, it's like everyone wanted to support. I think 2,000. They said 2,000 people showed up.
No, it was a big line out there.
It was
I
a huge line.
And and there's all black work in there, So it was a dope experience. I was just
it looked like a real big store, like like you had a complete, like you could get anything you could think of. You get the hair packs,
hot combs.
Well, we know what we need.
Exactly.
We know what we need. So
hot combs.
So I'm glad the first one is like so complete a store.
Yeah, because sometimes I know one store I went to. I was like, hold up, man! I thought y'all said y'all were black owned.
Beeswax.
Exactly,
right?
Where the castor oil at? I need castor oil for my hair.
Castor
oil. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's good that we starting to be, not just on the consuming end. You know what I'm saying? We out here on the supply and demand end. You know what I mean? Because we need that in our community. We need more of that. We need more business owners that get our support and just not let those businesses die out, because for one thing, a lot of people, we don't have a lot of business owners come through, but a lot of people don't show support, whether it be some people like, oh, it's the negative, experiences I had in the store. But the thing that is, I feel like if you're in business, you need to take criticism as well. If you think your customer service need to be better, be better. Right. But don't stop showing up. Because it will help them be better. Because a lot of people, sometimes if they're the owner, operator, and the employee, it's very stressful.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy to be in business as people would think. Because if you don't have the turnaround of people, you can't get the employees to help to make this business more lucrative. Not only, on the supply and demand end, but as an employee end, because you can get stressed running your own business, because you may be on the books, you doing, making sure the stocking is done, all that stuff like that. But the people in Nashville, they seem like had it together. They had the team.
Yeah, it seemed like they were preparing for this for a long time.
Yeah, because it's and to see that all that support show up,
Like
that was dope, man. And I'm glad to see, us showing up and support one another, because, we all need it.
Right. Yeah. So for all the woke social justice warriors out there,
tell them, Chris.
This is how you empower your community, not through protesting and demonstrations.
Come on, say it again.
It's through economic independence. Right. That's why they killed MLK.
Because he started talking that talk.
Right. That's what's gonna lift us out of the situations that we're in now. So, like you said, we long for it. That's why that support was there.
Yeah.
So we need more of this. So hopefully. So let's talk business. Is there one in Atlanta? Is there a black-owned natural hair store in Atlanta?
I think there's one in Cobb County. One off of Cobb Parkway.
There's a lot of ladies with natural hair in Cobb County. Is there?
I would say so. Yeah. There is a swath of Cobb County.
Cobb County.
Yeah.
So Cobb County.
Yeah. I'm about to say, because Cumberland Mall don't turn into the new Greenbrier Mall. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, when I seen the barbershop show up there, I started saying, I was like, oh snap, it's Greenbrier.
Facts.
Because I'm telling you, I went in at the Christmas with my wife and my sister and my mom. I was like, oh, this is very Greenbrier Mallish.
I mean, Bankhead is right there.
Yeah, that's about right
10
there.
miles away.
Right.
So I was just like, oh yeah, this is a spot. Because I was like, oh yeah. All they need is that chicken wing spot that used to be at Greenbrier Mall. They went too far. It was like right up street from. You get that to come over there. It'll be official. Cause them lemon pepper wings they had was just like Jesus made them.
Man,
it was just like super good. Like it had the lemony tang on the wing when you bite it.
Was Jesus a wing chef? What was Jesus like a wing chef?
When I get to heaven, I'm gonna help him be one. So we're gonna start serving wings to everybody. We're going to call them wings and praises.
Call that and claim it. Okay. But, okay, so I want to throw an angle into this.
Okay.
anyone who says that, oh well, what is the need to have black-owned things? Why can't we be out there in the general marketplace? Like, why can't what is the need to have black-owned? Let everything stand on its own merit or whatever. And I mean, everyone would say that I think that each community does need something that reaches directly to them.
Yeah.
Not everyone has. We can't expect the majority to have such an eclectic perspective of culture. Like, you each culture needs that. They need something that reaches to them.
That's very true.
And caters to their needs.
But we do have people that I don't know if I'm correct in calling certain agents.
Yeah.
We have people that come in and infiltrate our community and supply our demands. You know what I'm saying? But we have yet to be able to supply our own demands. You know what I mean? And it's very hard because you have to understand that the economic infrastructure is set up for us not to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So the thing of it is that you have to go in there and try to get a small business loan, and people are like, oh no, turn it down. Like you go into Wells Fargo, they let me tell you something, yo. They try for you can have a perfect credit, resume, perfect payment resume. They'll still and you won't even be asking for like 500,000. You say maybe 75, something like that. They'll turn you down. You know what I mean? Just for the simple fact it was like, well, what's their term? I can't remember the term. I remember it shortly. But they'll just say, hey, basically it was like, oh well, you don't have enough, this is what I need the money for, operating capital and stuff like that. Like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here.
Takes money to make money. Everyone says that.
Like,
Everyone says it takes money to make money, but then here we are. You're saying I don't have enough money.
You know what I'm saying? And then you want, because just like even like Killer Mike said, he was talking about like how a bunch of like convenience stores that we have in our community, they'll go to the black banks and get their small business loan, but we won't even tap into their resource. They got plenty of money that's just sitting there waiting to be. Now you just need to have a plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't use their resources. You know what I'm saying? What it's not commercial. It's not commercialized for people to know, but it's out there. And a lot of Indians and people like that are able to participate in gathering funds that we don't even have the leeway to get or the know-how to get. We don't know the path to get there.
Yeah. So was the question like what's the necessity of having black? What was the question?
I just want to, your opinion, like the necessity, because some people will say that this isn't necessary. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so important that it's black owned?
Yeah, I think detouring from just kind of the whole financial perspective, I think it gives an opportunity for those who aspire to be some person in business of color, especially like kids or youth. Like it gives an opportunity or for them to dream. It's like I don't have to be a product of my environment. Like if so and so made it out of this neighborhood or I see so many different faces representing this type of work that I aspire to do, then I could do it too. I think it's kind of like taking a detour from the financial perspective, but I think also too it's just like I guess it goes back to community as well, and just also like business to business. Like we're all trying to win. Like why work against each other when we can work together and make more money. And I think that will just definitely bring up, even more opportunities where, hey, like, you don't have to struggle. Like, I already have this business in place. Here's, this. Go out there, do that. I'll help you, help you help me,
Exactly.
so that we can both, all grow together and continue to create this network of, black business owners where we can all together collectively come up with the resources to help, a youth or help, a business that's struggling or, like just kind of like really give back to, our community, our culture.
Yeah. I think for me, first of all, no one else will know our needs like we know our needs, right? So, supplying to our own community is different versus an outsider. And I mean, I'm not opposed to anything, right? But it's different. Outsider looking in, trying to assume what we need, what works best for us, versus us knowing for ourselves, right? Also, just the financial part of it. This economic freedom leads to political freedom. A lot of times, we can't get policies and agendas that work for us because we don't have no financial clout in some other cultural groups or different lobbying groups or whatever it may be to push these agendas forward because there's money that's backing their agenda. So it's all connected. I think I mean that's just how the world operates. Ideally, it wouldn't have to be this way, but money is what makes the world go round. Right, and that's what pushes the needle. So to get things done from a political standpoint or from just from even a local level, resources is needed.
And I agree with that because that was along the lines that the point I was going to is just like, like if you want our communities to be better, our schools to be better, our housing to be better and stuff like that, you have to have those stores to generate that capital, to generate jobs, to generate people, to generate education, to generate the representation, the lobbyists that can lobby on our behalf, just like Chris was saying, man. Like if we don't have that, we have no real buying power. You know what I mean? We need to have buying power because our money go fund all other counties. Like people want to go shopping, they don't go to Bankhead. Guess where they go? And they're going into Midtown, Buckhead, Cobb County. You know what I'm saying? North Fulton. You know what I mean? All that stuff like that. They're going out of those places, funding those places where the upper middle class and all that stuff lives. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have our communities getting brought up. We're going and actually taking our money and funding other areas outside of our own. But if we have those businesses that is circling our money around in our community, helping fund schools or being able to have drives and order to bring money into our schools, donate to our schools and stuff like that. We can't have a real stake on this in this United States because it's just, believe it or not, when people ask you those questions, I just like, well, why do you have it? You know what I'm saying? Like if you ask them why should I have it, why do you have it? Why do you have representation? People looking out for you. So why is it wrong for me to have somebody looking out for me? You know what I mean? Because that right there, that just shows me the ignorance of what you see. It shows you have a blind eye to my community because you think we don't have to have, you feel like things are given to us. We don't want things given to us. We want to be able to create and cultivate with our own hands. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else did. Or, everybody else, most people, the majority, the power that be, they stole it from everybody else.
Talk about it.
So
talk about it.
It didn't even work. They just put other people to work, and once the finished product had arrived, they was like, oh, okay, this is ours now. That's how the patent office got invented, because they was like, okay, if they don't know about patents, they can't, the things they invent under us, they can't state a claim to it because we'll just take it to the patent office and get a patent first. You know what I'm saying? That's how the light bulb got taken away. That's how the cotton gin, all that stuff like that. Why would a person that's not working make a machine that would take the work off of the slave? You know what I'm saying? That just lets you know that that's not possible because they don't even know the process. They just say, get to work. When it's done, it's finished. Thank you. I collect my profits. You may go home and get ready for another long day. You know what I'm saying? But people in power, they will it to take it away. You know what I'm saying? They don't wield the power in order for the power to circulate through the whole ecosystem. It only goes up, never comes back down.
And I, and I've grown up in a similar neighborhood. Like I grew up in Southern DeKalb County, where right now, I mean, you have Stonecrest Mall, you have economic developments like that have come in recent years, like around 2000, 2001. But back in the 80s, 90s, there was a lot of doubt as to like very simple retail ventures like a Sears or a first run movie theater, like something that not a dollar movie would succeed in our neighborhood. Like I grew up having to drive almost 30 miles to my nearest like super Walmart.
Yeah.
We had the 9 to 9 Walmart that didn't really have a lot of stuff in it. But to go to like a super Walmart or like a movie theater like with new movies,
right.
Like we had to go to North of Cab. We had to go. I was talking to my wife about the other day. We had breakfast on Saturday at IHOP, and that was on Panola. Before that one opened, we had to go all the way to La Vista to go to an IHOP.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like so we basically just had whatever we had. Maybe lucky to have a grocery store,
right.
but nothing else that would really like enrich your life.
And also like I'm tired of just arguing against nepotism.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point you could understand, right?
Yeah.
Because if I was in the position, I would hire my cousin. So, I mean, I would hire my nephew or my niece or a friend of mine. I benefited from nepotism.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, man, it's just about opportunity. And instead of complaining about people who have and people who who have opportunity, it's like, man, just do what it takes to set yourself up to be in a position to grant other people opportunity, to empower other people. So that's where I'm at right now, right? It's just, man, I'm just tired of sitting complaining about these business owners and these people who hoard power, right? And I think this privilege in being us, right? Yeah, man, let's just set ourselves up, man, because it's happened before. We have the power to to empower ourselves versus leaning on outside influences. So I think that's what we need to do, and that's why it's so important just to have these black-owned businesses, so we could grant opportunities for employment for one another.
Right. And I'm glad you said about nepotism, because I think when we're in school, like when we're in high school or something, we're taught that, okay, you work hard and on your own credential and merit, opportunity will present itself.
Right.
And that could very well happen. But I think as you get older, I think one of the purposes of college, and we were talking about this with the teens a little bit, as far as the purpose of school and stuff like that. It's not just the academics you learn,
right?
You know what I mean? It's who you meet. It's what networks you build, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's about sometimes it is about who you know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, sometimes.
Especially when you get hired in the game. You're right. When you get up in the game.
More people you know, the easier it is to get in.
Exactly. So, but they don't teach kids that in high school. They really don't.
They
There's
don't
like
teach that nowhere. No, not really. Because
again, it doesn't really profit colleges. Half the colleges out there either.
Yeah.
But you just realize when you come up in life, it is about who you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is.
You have to know people. You have to have, like on life they say capital connections.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to have people that can allow you the entrance, the door, even show you where the door is to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, I know it was for people that my mom knew and stuff like that. A lot of the jobs that I ran into, I wouldn't have got it. Even the job that I got in order to get the internship that I got, I wouldn't have got there if I didn't have anybody on the inside telling me like, hey, come try this out.
Right.
You may get in or you may not, but try it anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just because networking is 75% of your adult life, really. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know how to get in, talk to people, move around, shake hands, know how to talk to people, get information from them, give information to them about you, because it's like you have to know how to sell, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing that is like, if you don't know how to sell yourself, you won't be good at networking. If you don't have a skill set that you trying to build upon, and that's why I tell people that are in college and stuff like that, like, yo, if you just there to play around, you might want to hold out for it.
Yeah.
Work a real job. Go struggle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't see anything wrong with
because I don't see anything wrong with it, because it's like, if you ain't in there on a mission, if you just in there just to party, and you know what I'm saying, for the atmosphere, you're really wasting your money. You know what I'm saying? You're wasting your money. You're wasting a lot of money that you're gonna have to find a way to give back.
College is a scam.
You know what I'm saying? So
If
you don't go in there with a plan to build a network, to gather a strong team around you, you won't make it out on the other side alive, you know what I'm saying, or in the life that you want to make it. Because you didn't spend time talking to people. That's why I tell people, get to know the people in your classroom, because if you're not getting to know the people in the classroom,
what are you there
who's
for?
around you, because you never know what their parents have, and if you get close to them, you can get close to them. I ain't trying to tell you to be a miser or somebody just sneak in weaseling, but you know, develop those relationships, because you really need them. You know what I'm saying? Because trust me, that's how a lot of people get ahead in life. It ain't because they had the skill, because even like some of the things my wife done told me, sister done told me, all kinds of stuff like that. Most of the people that get into these places is because they knew somebody. They might not even be totally qualified for the job, but they was like, you get in here, I could teach you the rest. You know what I'm saying? So you build those connections, you'll have them for life. You know what I'm saying? You will never be without. You know what I'm saying? You don't need but one opportunity. And because most times you get one opportunity, you get those 2 years of experience, your resume speaks for itself the rest of the time. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you're doing, you know you don't got your experience up, so you can go hop around, because all people really looking for these days is experience. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know how to build that network, you know what I'm saying, know your own worth, you know what I'm saying, and be able to present your worth to the people around you. Because if you just got a whole bunch of worth and you got a whole bunch of skills and stuff compiled inside of you, but you ain't let nobody around you know, what good are those skills? You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows what you can do. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell teenagers, everybody, my nephews, everybody, know what you're able to do before you can be able to sell yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I just hope that this shop continues to prosper. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, that's how it is, man.
Yes. Stream of
That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
To say all that, between you three entrepreneurs, my future son and daughter better have a job.
They straight. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about it.
We got them.
We got it. I already got the slot selected.
Like I tell people, I'm not creating none of this stuff just for me.
Absolutely not.
Everybody I know that got anything, you need internships, anything, come to Darius. He got
Absolutely.
You. Yeah, man. We're gonna need a crew soon. You know.
All right.
Yeah, you know. I don't know what this is gonna turn into.
I probably need a PR
there might be
person,
actually a
president,
live
so you know what
audience,
I'm saying.
talk show here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, so make just hit
Never
one of
know.
your kids and say, hey, maybe you want to go into political strategies. Cause I got Darius, he's gonna be president. I'm gonna need you to help him clean up a lot of the stuff you don't say.
Right.
And so speaking of power moves, so we got another power move in the world of news anchoring in West Palm Beach, Florida. With an anchor who got to wear her natural hair on the air for the first time. And her name is what? AJ Walker?
AJ Walker.
Yes, AJ Walker. 10 years.
JJ Walker.
Right. Dynamite. So she's been an anchor for 10 years, guys.
Yep,
so
10 years.
so that's respect. I mean, that's respect. That is currency in the world of anchoring, because you either sink or swim in that business.
A lot of people sink.
Exactly, because you're going city to city. You're building your brand wherever you go, and so
a lot of markets to fulfill.
Exactly. So now she's in West Palm, and she recently experienced the death in the family. Her mom recently passed away, and she decided when she came off of break that, you know what, my mom really like, my braids. It was like a part of our relationship. Her, getting the hair, getting it done, how it turned out. That was a big part of me and my mom's relationship, says AJ Walker. And so she decided to ask her managers to keep her braids in.
Yeah.
Because before she would have to put them in when she was on any kind of break, and then take them out when she was going back to work. And she was like, well, no.
So she spent hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds on them packs.
Yeah, I think what was interesting about an article that I read was
You read now?
no. I'm about to punch you.
Man, I wish I had the Mevo right now. To just do a back and forth with you guys.
So basically she would take out her braids for interviews because she felt like that would hurt her chances
Right.
to get the job.
Yeah.
That's because she was
Crazy.
saying in the past the other, jobs that she's had, basically told her that they liked the hair the way it was. They would allow extensions because certain, news anchor or news place has, just kind of straight hair.
Right.
They can have extensions, or they could, choose
Because
to wear
it's
their
straight.
short hair or however long their hair is, without extensions. But then she was saying that as she was about to get ready to ask them, they would kind of word it in a way where it's not a direct no. They would be like, well, I like the way your hair is.
Right.
They go, if you're
I
not
like
going
the
to
way
get
it
extensions.
is.
Oh, that is a direct no. That's corporate America no.
Right. Oh, let's not change it. It's, let's not change it. Right. Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
What you know?
But like Chris said before we even went on to the audio, it's just like it's kind of interesting that this has become like a norm, if you will. Like this is something that is to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Right. In
The
2019.
fact that we can't express
Shouldn't have to
ourselves.
celebrate it.
Yeah, like we can't be able to express ourselves in that way, as a black woman,
Right.
to have to think about what type of hairstyle that we can or can't have. Like there's different jobs that I probably wouldn't be able to get because of my locks.
Right.
I would have to cut them off,
You got it.
but I'm not gonna do that. So
Uptown
just won't have
fade.
that job.
I remember. I mean, it was something that we dealt with. Being married to a natural hair queen.
Queen, you hear that?
This was maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and she had a job interview, and she had her natural hair out, and we had to make a decision like, should she wear a wig or not.
Wow.
And we decided that just it was a job that she really wanted, and not to take any chances to wear the wig. And she got the job, and she waited a few weeks to reveal her full blackness.
Come on, full
but,
blackness.
but so it's tragic. I mean, being a professional person, highly qualified.
Yeah.
That just happened to be a thought. And we talk about white privilege, and people want to deny the fact that it's white privilege, but that's stuff that white people really don't have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a pretty standard method of being professional, right? Like,
Right.
If you have this, and I'm not saying I agree or not, but if you have this high-powered corporate America job, yeah, I think across the board we have crazy colored hair, like pink neon colored hair. It's pretty, understood that it's not professional, but just having the fact just having your natural hair out isn't professional.
Right.
That's just something that's unfortunate that black women have to deal with. So this is huge, and hopefully this is a trend that that takes off.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like to the point where because it's like, oh, your hair is intimidating. How can hair be intimidating? I just want to know how. Do you think my hair is gonna reach out and grab you if you say something I don't like? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even just like it was like, well, it's not professional. Please tell me what's professional hair like. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen some hair on Trevor that I did not like. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, that haircut he chose was like, it was a real eyesore to me, and I kept looking at him. I was like, yo, why did you do that to your hair? Like,
think about like
weird.
the early 2000s. That made me think of the early 2000s where you had all the frosted tips.
Exactly.
Right. Can you imagine walking in a boardroom with some frosted tips in 2019? I would laugh you out of the boardroom, sir. Like, how is that professional? Besides the fact you see it on NSYNC.
I was about to say, did you just go back into your old NSYNC catalog?
Yeah.
But you know what? You know, if I was that lady, man, I was like, Miss AJ, I was like, she should have just wore a wig, and in the beginning, and right when they turned it, her, she just rip it off, and like, with the braids out like that.
What?
That would have been dope.
Right.
That would have been good TV.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You wouldn't be able to pull her off.
I'm trying to tell you, you wouldn't be able to do nothing with that.
Difficulties.
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
put the cat on the
let that queen roar with her hair. You know what I'm saying? Drop them braids. You know what I'm saying?
And then we seen how they lost the feed on
Exactly.
Yes. It was going to another anchor. Like, oh. Okay, I'm talking. Yes.
I thought it was her
Yes.
segment.
Live on location. Yes.
Jay Walker
This
seemed
was totally
to
my
want to really
segment.
reveal herself and all her wonderful black glory. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a bad time for TV if they said that. But anyway,
Yeah. But, so this issue hits me personally in a way, like, because I've been a retail manager before, and so I worked for a company that had a very specific dress code rules, not just for the uniform, but for hairstyles. There was a whole section for hairstyles, and any violator of these of these policies, when they show the diagram, it's a black man with braids, it's someone with like crazy colored hair, it's a black girl with braids, it's, you know, and the thing is, they didn't necessarily outlaw braids because, you know, it's a retailer. Kids are working there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but if you were a black man with braids, you had to tuck your braids into your back collar, into the back of your collar.
So what's the issue? The length?
It's the length. It's hair length.
you can't be out here with longer hair than our white
if it's
people.
that long,
Exactly.
to tuck in your collar.
Yeah, and so, but the thing is, like, I see someone of other cultures with long hair, like a guy,
Exactly.
and they would have to tuck their hair into their back collar.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, never mind.
And then there was a point where with colors, right?
Dinosaur back.
Where the colors, the color policy clearly stated it has to be natural hair in order to be natural.
Right.
That's what they use to save themselves. Natural. So if a black girl shows up with, let's see, blonde hair, there would be some debate.
What if that's their natural hair?
I'd have been like, I'm Aboriginal.
Exactly. But then, like you said, if Trevor showed up, and I've seen it, Trevor shows up with.
He was born with black hair.
Trevor, if you're
was
listening,
was he born with future hair? Because
Exactly.
I saw that fly.
I seen that.
I saw that fly.
Like, he looked like Sonic the Hedgehog helper.
He looked like Macaulay Culkin circa 1995.
Exactly. After the drugs.
Yes.
You know what I'm
in his
saying?
first marriage.
I think the issue is how
You're
it's
just
being.
gonna put us on. Reiterate. All right.
But yes.
I think the issue is how it's being enforced.
Right.
Because you remember probably at the beginning of the year when this little kid got sent home from school because he had dreads and he was violating the school policy.
Oh yeah.
And growing up, you know, we had uniform and we had, you know, school, like, you know, dress code, and it applied to our hair.
Yeah.
And the code was, you know, your hair can touch your collar. But it was enforced. You know, it wasn't no dress. That wasn't the policy. It was the length of the hair. But that was enforced, you know, by white folks. You know, white folks had the mullets and that, right, and all of that, and you know the black kid. So I didn't see an issue with that. But again, right, if Bobby or
Brett,
Come on, Bobby.
Brad, you know what I mean? If he could get away with it, I think that's profiling and discrimination.
It is.
And like I said, with enforcement,
Right.
One more instance where I had a friend on the job who wore her hair out. She usually wore it in twists, but then she decided to show up to work untwisted in her full afro, like picked out and everything.
Come on,
and she
out.
tied it back. She tied it back away from her face. You know, and she was sent home. She was sent home.
Wow.
Because an afro isn't traditional hair. You know what I mean? But then somebody else with a different hair texture who wore their hair full length would get to stay on their shit.
You know what I'm saying? Robert Ernstein, he would have came there with his little curly fro.
Ernstein? Wow.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Got that. But
wait a
okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But if he had if he had showed up with it, would have been fine because it would be like, that's perfectly fine for his heritage and stuff like that. They got that kind of hair.
Right.
Like, I got that kind of hair too. Y'all told me I couldn't wear it like that for so long. I started getting fades.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you watch if you just grew up in the 70s a little bit, you seen everybody was wearing hair like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just weird that stuff has to happen like that. Like, how can you judge me on my hair? You know what I mean? You don't know nothing about me. Oh, you look like a thug. Like, really? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Seen some bald head thugs before, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Good.
Skinheads.
You
know what I'm saying? Just like, exactly. You know what I mean? For real.
And he looks back.
Exactly. So, you can't say what hair constitute towards character. You know what I mean? So, it's just like you have to kind of leave some things open. Like, yeah, I understand you don't want to come in there with rainbow skittle color hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get that. It could be an eyesore or a distraction. Most time I see people do that, I'm like, they going through something, man. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just their look. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing that is, we know it ain't, professional, you know what I mean? But I feel like if they coming in, they pumping out good quality work, they show up to the meetings ready and attentive, they able to absorb the information which is being put out. I don't care what you wear on your head, you know what I'm saying? As long as you can do the work I put before you, you are fine with me.
Yeah.
That's why, when my company get up and running, I don't care what you got on your head. You can walk around with a squirrel on your head. Long as they don't come after me, you okay with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I cook it and eat. I kill it and eat it.
I think we're moving towards that though.
Yeah.
I think even accepting tattoos. I think people, there was this thing where you hid your tattoos, but I think it's slowly, but people are just valuing the character and the value of the word. Regardless of how you look, when you're getting the job done, if you're professional, it doesn't matter what your appearance looks like. So
it makes me think of what
as long
she
as
said
you
in
take
the
baths,
article.
that's the only requirement I have.
Just take a bath, please.
Bathe your body before you come to my place. Because if you smell, I am not professional enough not to join you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, hey, you smell like 6 wet fish.
And so in the article that I read, the things that you guys mentioned, it kind of correlates with that. She said that a long straight weave can help land you a job because you have the look, but that isn't really our look. That's just an image we struggle to maintain. Let us be ourselves. We are still professional, even if our hair is different.
Exactly. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You want Sinead O'Connor, let her be Sinead O'Connor. Come in there with the fade, with the part. Think it look good on some women. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, I know it's some people can't rock natural hair. I just be like, you know what? You may need to apply the cream and crack. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't really washing it. You ain't really washing it. It look like
the creamy crack.
Huh? The perm.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you call it.
No, this is a term.
It's a term. Let's say this is a lexicon.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So, you may need to apply it because I don't see some people that be like, your hair. I mean, I understand you want to go natural. Not you seen other sisters do it successfully, but if you don't go get no tips from them,
you ain't doing.
Don't do this on your own.
For life.
Get help.
Go to a community.
Please get help.
You know
Consistent shrinkage.
Sister such, come here. I got somebody that you need to be
Ain't
friends
got no
with.
moisture, but your hair
Your
across
hair's
your
dry.
whole head just come out bloody.
You rub your hair and it sounds like you crinkling paper in your hand. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You know what I mean? You need some moisturizer. You ain't even using the blue stuff.
Oh
my god.
Go to that black-owned natural hair shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take your butt to Nashville.
All the way there.
All the way to Nashville.
I was like, man, maybe next time I go to my sister's house, she live in Clarksville.
Yeah.
That's like 40 miles away from Nashville. I might stop through there, go give me some stuff, give me some castor oil from my Mario Andretti's.
Yes.
How long you gonna let them grow?
I don't know
Yeah,
yet.
that's
You know what I
a
mean?
good question.
I have had very long hair before. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You say you have had?
Yeah, when I was a
It's kinda
kid, I
hard
used to
to
have
imagine.
like very long hair. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to have beautiful hair.
Oh.
Right, just
Beautiful
just
hair.
like
Luxurious.
inches.
I made natural people want to go natural when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? It was like, look at that look at his hair, the little kids and stuff. I was like, hey, watch out now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't ready for this.
Oh man, because I look at the early videos, like, you know, when we were first doing this.
Yeah.
And there's some definite growth
Yeah.
going on now.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like,
yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out
Okay.
because I normally be don't change hairstyles.
Yeah, me too. I've been
most
like,
time I change my hair. Like my barber used to be like, "Yo, please tell me you ain't finna do nothing different to your hair right now." I was like, you know what? I feel like let's do a high right, low left.
oh, I remember
with
that.
the part through
Mhm.
the middle, you know what I'm saying, and leave it like that. And then I shaved the left down, had waves on one side,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
I
had
remember
left
that.
Like
on the other
futuristic.
side. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. So I was just like, I had the
Futuristic.
ocean and the mountain. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope. You know what I mean?
Hossein.
Exactly.
How deep?
Hey,
are you
but for
gonna
real,
go?
because people like, damn man, you got curls and waves up, like, you know what I mean? You know how
It's
I
a
do,
regular hair.
I don't play no
episode.
games.
oh boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been debating whether or not I want to comb out my locks.
Oh wow.
Comb out.
Comb out.
Man, you gonna bald head and comb that stuff out.
I'm
man.
not. I'm not.
How long have you grown out your hair?
It's going up on 5 years.
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Keep going, I'm gonna catch
I don't know about that, but
you.
okay.
Well, for me, it's been like a day.
Huh?
For me, it's been like a day. Growing my hair out.
Oh, that's good.
How long have you been rocking the?
Whoa, that's an interesting question.
Scoopy.
Okay, so I first did it when I was 15, because I'd gotten like 15. Yes, I just did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say
Not like no. Oh,
You're
no.
struggling at 15?
So I had gotten a haircut.
Yeah.
And like my mom didn't like it
So
and
she
tried
just-
to fix it.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Because she's grown up cutting my
Jesus.
hair or whatever.
She messed up.
So
your
she
line.
messed it like it was like you know, kind of a low fro, and I liked it. I liked the little feng shui of it. It was nice and, you know,
Steve was
symmetrical and everything. But then she was just like, "Oh, it's too round. I don't like it. You already
It's
got a
too
round
round."
face." So she tried to
That's what the
square
front's
it off.
supposed to be.
Exactly. So she tried to square it off or something like that, and I didn't like it. I hated
How
it.
old were you? 15?
I was 15
Should've
years
followed
old.
your mama, man.
No.
So, and I remember it because it was like the day before my 15th birthday.
Dang,
Um,
bruh.
So,
She ruined you on your birthday.
so what I did, we just happened to have a whole pack of Bic razors, like disposable Bic razors. So all night, I lathered my hair up as much as I could, and I shaved my head. Because I was like, I don't have the equipment to fix it.
Do you have a picture?
Did you
of
scream
Sid?
as you saved it? Like, you like,
Yeah.
ah!
Of this picture? Do you have a picture of 15?
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. But it came out pretty smooth. I got lucky my first time. Like,
Okay,
it
yeah,
wasn't
that's
like a
good.
situation where it got all cut up and I
Yeah,
had to wear a
about to
hat
say, I
or
ain't
something
look-
like that. No, it came out pretty good.
In there looking like Hellraiser.
Yeah, exactly.
Got your hair cut by Edward Scissorhands.
Exactly.
You
So-
got to fight with that razor. And it won.
So, okay, so I did it, went to sleep, got up, And when I went downstairs, my mom was like she had seen a ghost. She was like, "Ah, what did you do to your hair?
You did this, mother!"
And I was like, I didn't like the haircut. So so that was when I first did it. So what I would do is I would grow my hair out, go to the barber, style it or whatever, and then when it just got out of hand, I would just shave it. So I could go further between barbershop trips. You know what I mean? I would do it to save money or whatever.
You was already committed to ball before you even committed to it.
Exactly. I go back and forth, but then one time, sadly, when I was 25, I couldn't even
10 years later.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't even it out anymore. Like the front was just too low to even it out with the rest. So I just
got some of that spray paint. Like
nah. I always swore I'd never be that guy. Never be that guy. I saw too many.
They have installation now.
I mean, let me tell you. So I seen this dude. He usually go to the barbershop that I go to. Man, like it looked like he had got some of that Mako paint on his head. You know? I was just like, I had told my barber, like, yo, man, you need to tell him to let that go, yo. That joker looked like, what Michael Jackson brother's name?
Oh, Jermaine.
He looked like Jermaine Jackson out here, man. Looked like I was like,
Sharpie.
He sat down in the barber chair and said, let me get that guy to get Mako.
Oh. And so from 25, so it's been about 11 years now where it's just like I have to shave it, you know what I mean? And I don't like rocking the cul-de-sac for too long, you know what I mean? Because it ages me.
But I'm gonna tell you something, like it give you privilege though, because I'm telling you, man,
cul-de-sac.
People told me, like my uncle told me, like when you got the cul-de-sac on, he can walk on the ham bang and get along, man.
I'll keep that in mind.
He ain't gotta get checked. He don't get checked and stuff at airports. It's nothing like that.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll give me a nice 3-piece suit.
That's all you
with
need.
A watch in the vest. You know what I mean? And then grow my hair out and walk in the bed.
No, you don't need the full. You don't need to grow it out heavy. Just nice
like
little
Jason
light.
Statham like.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. See, I'm not fit enough to rock it for fashion, so maybe it'll get me some money.
You have a bank loan.
Yes.
Yeah, you go up in there, you go ahead and get everything you need for your studio.
Yes, for us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're like, hey, my name, you already got the voice for it.
I'll take it for the team. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll get my strategy together and get back to you.
I just want to see you in the cul-de-sac.
The cul-de-sac. Yeah, I very rarely let that out of the neighborhood. So
right now, let that happen.
Share it with the community.
Yeah. and I gotta tell you something with this stuff. Like, you see these guys go into barbershops and get it like
installations.
The installations.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Oh, that glue, that's gonna mess your scalp up. There's stuff collecting under there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So
it's bacteria.
Exactly.
Sweat.
You're gonna have scalp AIDS.
Your scalp is not gonna be pretty when you're an old man.
Exactly.
It's gonna be all discolored. It's gonna be like 3 different colors.
The zombie apocalypse happening on top of your head.
You know,
they got the fake beards now too.
Oh yeah, they got the lace front beards.
Let
me tell you something, man. I'm telling you, my family ain't like a hair loss family, so you know what I'm saying. Especially on my mom's side, you know what I'm saying. That's where they say it come from. If you get it, mom's side, I'm straight.
Yeah.
That's why I looked at my dad's side. I was just like, whoo, man, I'm glad I got my mama jeans on that side.
Praise God.
Because I probably struggle if I don't have hair on my head. Hair been such a big part of my life because I had good hair.
Gotcha.
What they consider good hair all my life.
Well, you had hair to style too.
Yeah, I had hair to style, and when I had the waves, they was just swimming. People used to come to my hair with swim trunks on. Because I had so many waves.
Just shut up now.
It was like, it was like, man, you got a beach already, man. Where the sand at? And I used to get sand out my pocket.
Ties.
Exactly. I was sitting on the joke. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, I just cut a sun lamp on in the classroom and let them play in the water.
Yes. So our hair paths coming out here on comedy.
Exactly. Savon, no, I really like my hair. Savon said, you always looking at your hair like, hey man, just gotta make sure it's straight. You know, I ain't playing no games. That's how I got you.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought it was because you was hiding in the bush.
Nah, I wasn't hiding in the bush. Well, she thought I was hiding in the bush, but I told her, like, hey, I'm in North Carolina right now.
So let's open this up to our viewers here. Like,
What you think about hair?
Like hair, the barbershop routine, beauty shop routine. I mean, that's always interesting. Like,
man, my barber got a
Chris, you still have a full crown.
All right. I don't think I can get away with the balding.
Don't think so?
I don't think your face gotta be, your head gotta be shaped a certain way.
I don't know, man. You make him get away with it. You got the head for it.
I don't think so.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
you did that. I like, nah. Oh no, you can't do it.
We have the wife in the audience.
Yes, we do. She's in the
What do you
studio.
think?
So like, don't put me on the spot like that.
The mic will pick you up. It will.
He can rock it. I think he can rock it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? You gonna have to, get some.
As long as he keeps the facial hair.
Yeah.
You have one or the other.
You gotta have one. You can't
or
have
the
both.
other. Okay.
I be struggling. That's
Is
one
that
thing
your
I've been.
brother?
That's one thing I've always been afraid of losing was my hair and teeth. Like my smile.
Oh.
I can't. Like I told you, if I lose my 2 front teeth, I probably won't come outside. I would not come outside until I get me some new ones. I was like, I'm sorry, Angel will
I
have to
wouldn't
miss
even
me
talk.
at church.
I would every time
Alright,
somebody
smile,
asks me a
just
question, I have a notepad
can't do that,
ready.
yo, because what picture you ever seen me smile with my lips?
Never.
Ever. I need my teeth. They the flashlights to my face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I will have a notepad.
My personality
Here's
just
my
grew
handy
up with
dandy
it.
notebook. How was your day?
Exactly. I'd be afraid to smile. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, thank you God for letting me keep my teeth.
Amen.
Glad you give my daddy teeth jeans either, because he lost them joints early. My daddy teeth disappeared by the time he was 40. He had to go to the dentist and say, take them all
They
out.
disappeared.
Yeah, them joints went away like chiclets.
Oh, not chiclets.
They had that gum that we be talking about. Be chewing, he be chewing like it's running away from it inside his mouth.
Get over
Like
here.
he's
Get
trying
over
to
here.
catch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
I had a client one time who took her dentures out, put it on her desk.
No.
I promise. She
No, she didn't,
left
Chris.
the office. I almost forgot her dentures.
No, she didn't.
Ma'am?
What?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Like, how do you
I think she was.
Leave your whole
Oh,
mouth?
okay,
How do you leave your whole mouth?
Right.
And be like, excuse me, ma'am, your mouth. Hey, ma'am.
Hey, you can't leave this here.
Hey, ma'am, you left your mouth in
You
here.
need to get your mouth.
Need these, right.
How you know
So you
you
can eat
might
dinner
have
tonight.
exactly. Hey, but you know people that ain't got, we talked about that earlier. People
Yeah.
that ain't got no teeth in their mouth, they're very resilient with chewing now. They just make it happen.
My mom.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't saying
I'm not in this.
that part now. Miss Mama already
Miss
told you,
Miranda,
I
I didn't
can't
say
be
that.
I can't be around you if you're on the phone with her no more.
It's
You know what
okay.
I'm
She'll
saying?
be all right.
You know what I'm saying? Miss Miranda, that's your dog.
You gotta own it. You know,
can't
gotta
eat
take
certain food
ownership.
though.
This will be the first time I see
Can
my
she
mom
have-
with some teeth.
Can she have corn in the cob?
Yes.
Man, let me tell you.
She'll make it
hey,
work.
Man, but let me tell you, gum.
She
I'm
makes
telling you,
it work.
people gums are
Let me tell
strong.
you something.
I don't see
Corn in the cob.
with the power of the gum, baby.
Let me-
It's a
I
bone
feel like
up under
gums
there.
are more
They just
powerful than
gnaw it to
actual
death.
teeth.
They just gnaw it to death. They get all the nutrients
What
out
did
their
you
corn.
say? He
Huh?
said his auntie has 2 teeth in the back of her
And
mouth.
stick the fork all the way in her mouth.
Then the fork
You
away
got to get it to the teeth.
teeth in the back.
My dad's sister, had to stick the fork out to it like that. You know what I'm saying? And one time she put something in her mouth that was hot, and she like. And I was like, yo, you really struggling with that hot food. You know.
Come burn the roof of your mouth.
Ain't gonna be
Play
blood.
around like
The
that.
whole thing gone.
Exactly. Hit you dumb because you can't, your teeth usually protect you.
Yeah.
But they hit you, you ain't got no protection without them teeth. You know what I'm saying? You
The
just
back,
in there.
back of your throat.
And then doing the double dutch in your mouth.
Oh
Anyways.
man. So yes,
Before-
AJ Walker.
Before we get into this interview
Awesome.
session with our special guest,
How do we
Chris
go here?
Dorelus, I do not know. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel, click that notification bell so that you know when we go live on Sundays. and when we post video content throughout the week.
And like I said, if you ain't got no eyes, you got Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes, just to name a few.
Yes.
So you can have your ears ready to listen to us.
I didn't know what he was about to say.
Yeah.
I had to cycle out some foolishness before I got there.
Okay.
That's what I do. That's my pause.
Yes. In his head, like, it's gonna be stuff cycling.
That's exactly how it happens in my brain.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. So yes, we are here to talk to Chris Dorelus here in L Lab 2. I'm working on the new name.
In his Spanish.
Yes. But yes, Chris Dorelus. If you guys remember from episode 17, his lovely wife was on the program. So now we like to complete awesome couples on
He was
here.
corner Chris. Now he front and center Chris.
I got promoted. Huh?
You know what I'm saying? He out here to tell y'all something about life.
But yes, we complete awesome couples here on Convrs8.
We don't play no game. We support black love.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's Chris.
You out there,
Black excellence.
Little plug. Dating action. Okay. So yes, Chris. So we just start getting into where you grew up and just like how you develop a passion for what you do now.
Right. So first I just want to say thank you guys for inviting me. This is a privilege, and I was pretty nervous because you guys are a big deal. So, so thank you for that. But yeah, I grew up in you guys are good.
No, I'm sorry, Russell. Before you answer that question, Russell said he worked with a guy we called Thomas the Tooth, who had one long front tooth and used to tear up some ribs.
Killed them ribs, huh?
He had one long tooth. Okay, I'm sorry.
But yeah, so
Wow.
I grew up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois. Lived there for a little bit, and then I moved down here to Atlanta fairly young, just because the South was the land of opportunities, right? Cost of living was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Housing was pretty cheap, and there was just more opportunities. My dad was able to get a job down here. I would spend my summers in Chicago until I was probably around 18. So I split my time between Chicago and Atlanta. Went to a couple of different schools. Grew up mainly in Catholic school. So that even though I didn't agree 100% with a lot of the doctrine and things I believed in. But in that setting, we were taught just to serve and just compassion for the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, where I was raised, the school that I went to, and just my parents, my parents were, loving people, always served just friends and family. My dad had a nonprofit growing up called Sanjay IT. It means in Creole, remember Haiti. We're Haitian American, so he had a nonprofit where he sent supplies to Haiti and sponsored kids to go to school. So it's just something that I grew up seeing.
Awesome. That's tremendous. So I know you had a background with the community food bank.
Right.
So what did you learn from that experience?
So it was great. I was fortunate to work for such a great organization. I started as a volunteer coordinator. So what would happen, we would host huge sort sessions. So, churches, families, companies would do like day of services, right? And they would come into this big warehouse, and we would get donations from a lot of different retailers. So from Whole Foods, Kroger, Publix, individual donations. And we would just facilitate a large sort. So we have people checking expiration dates. We have people packing them in specific categories, and we would send them out to different, soup kitchens and nonprofits in the community. That was cool. You know, we had a lot of high profile volunteers because it was it was trendy to like volunteer. So politicians who came into the city, it almost became like a photo op, right? So at times it became a little too like customer servicey. And I felt like at times it was a gimmick. Right. So I wanted to move and work with the people that we serve, like face to face. So I moved to the community outreach program, and what I did was I went to like homeless shelters, MARTA stations, hospitals, help people get jobs, sign them up to food stamps, and got them Medicaid. So that's what I did on paper. But at times became a counseling session. Some homeless people a lot of times don't have people to talk to, so I was listening ear. So it helped me just understand the plight of homeless people and how they were perceived, and it gave me a whole new sense of empathy, and it's a whole new level of just gratitude for the things that I have, because God forbid that I lost my job and whatever it may be, I would never be homeless, right? I have a support system. I have friends, I have family. So I think I discovered there's this huge misconception about the homeless population, right? You hear things like they're lazy, or they just don't want to work, but it was way deeper than that. So it opened my eyes. It opened my eyes.
So that so with all that experience that you gained, what I'm saying, from your corporate America, do you feel like those skills helped you to become, able to do your job well, and what your current position is as far as outreach, helping in schools with the teenagers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I was able to be exposed to all walks of life, right? So even dealing with it wasn't just homeless people that I dealt with, but people are in pretty dire situations, and I realized that I had a lady client who was working at a bank, and she lost her job, and most Americans don't have more than a month worth of savings in their account. So her kids went to private school. She had like a $2,000 mortgage that she couldn't afford, so she needed food stamps. So I dealt with that. Dealt with mentally ill. I dealt with just pretty much everybody. So it definitely helped, and again it gave that sense of empathy and just passion for people. So my thought process was, after a while I noticed that I was serving grandparents, I was helping their kids, I was helping their grandkids, man. And after a while I noticed that, man, it was just this generation poverty that I was seeing. And food stamps and Medicaid and stuff like that, that's a need for that, right? But just left alone, it wasn't changing lives, right? So right. So and actually, just left alone, it may actually do the opposite, and cause dependency. So a lot of times it does the opposite of what it tends to be. So I thought, how can I really help change the trajectory of these people's lives, right? And I thought about what did it for me was education. So I was fortunate to move into a school setting where I could help mentor and just put different perspectives in these kids' minds, right? And just kind of show them things differently. But I noticed it's just even that wasn't enough, right? Education, isn't enough, because the neighborhoods that I serve in, man, some of the highest crime rates, highest poverty rates, sex trafficking, HIV, all that's high where I work. And some of the some of the best criminals are smart people, right? So, you know, I've noticed that education was enough. So, man, me being able to move to ministry, it was that kind of holistic approach to healing people, right? Healing people hearts, you know, helping them with character stuff. So I'm just fortunate to kind of tackle, you know, people from, you know, those different angles, man. Help them, you know, you know, with their choices, right? Helping them, you know, see things differently, but ultimately, man, you know, pointing them to Jesus and you know, helping, you know, their hearts. So, yeah, it's a process. It's a journey, man. But it's humbling, and you know, I'm privileged to be in that position.
Yeah, and I like you when you said, you know, it's taking a more holistic approach. Because I feel like the best healing for people comes from the inside out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't understand the reasons why they keep going into the things that they're going into, because they have the way their mind and their heart connects to it drives them to go in certain directions. And when you're able to heal that process, you know what I'm saying, that connectivity to negativity, you know what I'm saying, they're able to get away from it quicker, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is like one of the best treatments for people is just treat their soul. You know what I mean? Instead of just trying to say, all right, let me give you this opportunity. But when you give people opportunity, they don't understand, they don't have the mentality, you know what I'm saying, behind the opportunity. It's very hard for them to become successful, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
yeah, I've noticed that, you know, a lot of things that we see, you know, like crime and addiction, you know, that's sin, right? You know what I mean? Racism, and that's sin, right? And I believe that we are fighting a spiritual battle, right? We're spiritual beings, you know, in this physical world, but, you know, we are not battling flesh, right? It's a spiritual battle, man. So attacking it from that versus just the symptoms, right? Sometimes a lot of times we look at the symptoms, right? And we try to attack, you know, something that we learned this past weekend at the marriage retreat. You know, are we attacking the issue versus the person? Right? So really getting into the root and trying to attack it from that, because with some of these issues, it's gonna be God that change it, right? It's gonna be His supernatural power to change it, and so nothing, you know, I could teach them, and nothing that, you know, no opportunity at a job could change, man. It's like just praying for them, right? And letting God just remove some of those bondages that they are entrapped in.
You know, like one thing I do like what I've been seeing, you know what I'm saying, from what your work has been with the teens and stuff like that. Y'all guys have been very consistent with those teens, and I think that is something I think that's just the biggest ingredient in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's the consistency that you put out. You know what I'm saying? As far as just loving up on them and being in their lives. And how did you develop the consistency?
Well, man, just through, man, people who've done it before me, right? You know, I'm fortunate where I have a support system, right? And there's people who's walked that walk before me that I can lean on and ask for advice. I think another part of that consistency piece is patience, right? I tell folks, like, my job is fulfilling, not rewarding, right? Because you may not see that reward, right? You may not, you're not gonna get that instant gratification. Maybe 10 years down the line where it pays off. So you have to have that long run, you know, in your mind that this is a marathon, and that consistency. You have to, you know, you spend time with them, right? It's fortunate I get time with them in the school. You know, they're there for a bunch of hours, but they go back into the world, right? So it's like you gotta consistently, you know, in this battle, what they've learned for 14, 15, 16 years, man. So a lot of it is like undoing, you know, unlearning, you know, bad habits. So, man, you can't expect to make any change in any aspect of life, right? Anything you're trying to be successful in, if you're not consistent, if you're not, you know, if you don't persevere. you know, we get so caught up being a millennial with this, you know, microwave generation and wanting things, you know, you warm up things for 2 minutes and it's great, but that's not how you change the world. That's not how you really make impact. So it's something I struggle with, you know, I mean, being of this generation, and wanting things to work in my time, but again, man, keeping this perspective of my role, understanding what God could do in their life, and just, you know, sharing, just being, just a ministry of presence is what we taught, man. Just being present in their lives, right? And that makes a difference. You might not even need to say something, just being there for them, you know, their practice, right? Or a game, just them seeing us around, just that investment, you know, I feel that I have conviction that pays off.
Awesome. Oh, you.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying. So you are you work at the Best Academy as a teacher, and also youth
youth coordinator.
I was trying to get the titles
right.
at the Path. And there are times where those two positions kind of converge. What are the challenges in that, you know, being with the separation of church and state thing with education? But
I think for me, this is being set apart. You know, I'm not preaching the gospels in the school, right? But them seeing me different than what they've seen before, me not cussing at them, right? Me not, you know, talking about having locker room talk, right? You know, they get curious, like, why, you know, you're a fairly young guy, why aren't you talking like the adults I've seen talk, right? Like, why don't you act this certain way? You know, why don't you, you know, why are you like unfamiliar? So, and answering that, I can speak about my faith, right? You know, so I think that's what I do. You're allowed to share your story. You know, you're allowed to speak on the things that have worked for you. So that's what I try to do, man. I try to, you know, maintain my salt. It's tough at times though, because you could get consumed of, you know. I don't want to put my school out there, but you know, I have an amazing staff, right? But you know, it's raw. You know what I mean? It's raw. You gotta do what you gotta do to get to these kids, right? So you're tempted to, hey man,
drop down a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me step down a little bit and get to you.
And it's not even out of frustration. It's just out of that's what they seem to respond to.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But it's like if you fall into that trap, you're gonna look like what everybody else looks like. You know what I mean? So
you have to look set apart.
Right.
So basically you're very shrewd. You know what I'm saying, in your walk. You know what I mean? You know, you have to be representative. You don't have to
witnessing.
You don't have to witness with your words always. Just witness with your lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I like that.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's things that I just be conscious of, man. Things that I try to live in an authentic life, and you know, if they ask me advice, man, I'm gonna give it to them real. So you know, there's things that, you know, I try to stay away from just because I'm in a leadership position. You know what I mean? Something that may not be a struggle for me, but I don't want you to assume because I do it that you could do it. You know what I mean? Just trying to lead by example. But I think the biggest part, man, is just let your life be that witness, and you know, just showing the way that, and I let them be known. They get confused because my shirt's tucked in, and you know what I mean, and I wear dress shoes to work, man. But like I was out there, man, I was out there. We were out there in the club, like we were smoking weed, we were drinking, all that. I mean, I used to be a party promoter. Even some teachers can't believe it, right? Because I'm pretty mild mannered. But I lived a full life, you know what I mean? So it's not that I'm coming from a place where, well, you preach to them, and it's not things that I've done. Right? I can relate to you, right? I was a young black man, a black student. You weren't a 28-year-old man, right? And so the things that I'm telling you is I lived it, right? And I'm telling you, like, it looks cool, man, but everything that's, I say this all the time, like everything that's shiny isn't gold, right? It's empty. So the sooner you get it, the better off you're gonna be.
I think. No, I think that's good because I feel like a lot of the times people don't really show that part of themselves. Right. Like they feel like they have to have it all put together, and like it's like I can't. It's not even like I can't relate with you, but I'm choosing not to relate to you because I want you to be better. One, but two, it's just like I think sometimes. I think what I appreciate just about the friendships that I have is that factor of I was there before too, or I can relate, or like I wasn't too far removed from that. Like I still struggle with some of these same things today. Like I have a different response and I have a different way that I handle these things. But I think that's what's so important, especially like with the young people and like giving them that support that that I've seen you do, and even just the whole team of people that serve the teens in that way. Like y'all are very vulnerable about your lives. Even with me, I'm not a teenager, but I think even just like having those type of relationships where you can dig in someone's life and you're like, man, like wow, I didn't even know that you struggle, with these type of things, and it makes that you that much more relatable, and also it tells me like I can overcome this as well.
Right. Because I feel like that's it. Like even like knowing when I was a kid and stuff, like I used to be, from the South, man. We went to church all the time. Right. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that kept me from church is the perfectionist aspect. Like everybody talked and act like they didn't do no wrong. Like they just been this 35-year-old man their whole life. You know what I mean? And you're just like, yo, so you just out here just living holy and sanctified your whole life. You ain't got no dirt. You know what I mean? But it used to be hard for me to deal with it. I was just like, man, nobody perfect. I'm a kid and I know it ain't nobody perfect. You know what I'm saying? So why are you trying to, like further convey this and you don't have any transparency in your talk with me? You know what I mean? It made it very hard for me to believe what you're saying because I'm already looking at you like you're lying. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yo, you can't have been walking around here like this your whole life. So it made it very hard for me to relate to those people because I was just like, yo, man, I can't be you, so why try to be you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even want that pressure. Like, why? I don't want to even be seen that I'm perfect, right? That's a hard standard to live by, right? Exactly. And being in ministry, I've already. That comes with insecurities and being even a disciple, right? You know what I mean? It's like you fall short. That's like the essence of it, right? And you're saved by grace. Like that's the essence of it, man. So, trying to let these teens know that like you aren't your mistakes, man. And I actually value those stories where you were over here and you moved over here. Exactly. Like I appreciate those stories more than anything, right? Versus the folks who haven't gone through anything.
Exactly, because people always want to hear about the underdog that had to climb up. You know what I mean? Like that makes them more appealing. It's a more attractive story. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because a person's like, I've had privilege all my life and I never really had to struggle. Like, well, how can I have belief that there's a hole to be climbed out of? Because like a lot of times people, when you present that type of life to people was like, okay, so this hole is mine. You know what I'm saying? So I have to just come to grips with the reality that I'm gonna be in this hole for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? But when we are transparent with people and stuff like that, because that's what got me to be a disciple, to be real with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 29-year-old guy. You know what I mean? Don't act like it ain't no struggle out here in these Atlanta streets. You know what I mean? Like, and don't act like you ain't been tempted with these same struggles that I have, but when people were open and being honest about where they came from and giving me a story, I was like, oh, so it is possible. I can be a disciple and try to strive for, you know what I'm saying, a godly lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because I had other examples. Because believe it or not, like we are now the examples for the generation that is behind us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the crazy part. Like I think about it, I'm like, oh, I am I'm a leader by default now. You know what I'm saying?
I thought I was young until I started working after school. And every day, I'm old. I'm officially became that guy. Like, the music y'all listen to is trash. Like, I'm that. And I swore not to be that guy, but it's like I'm old, right?
And I don't know what that is he's saying.
Right, I'm old. But this is so much untapped potential too, and it's just this. It's an unfortunate stigma that's on them boys, right? So it's just trying to channel the genius that they have into something positive, right? So it's a inch by inch, man. That's like a theme that I'm trying to like embrace. And when we got our first team baptized, like inch by inch, right?
Yeah.
And just the things that also I've noticed, man, the things that you may not even be a big deal to us, it's huge to them, man. Just like how I interact with my wife is a big deal, right? Them being able to see a loving family. Yeah. Some of that's something that I take for granted. My parents, flawed as they are, right? They was full of love in my household, right? I never questioned, them loving me. Just that, just being in a space of that, man. I think people are, everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants to feel the sense of belonging. So everybody wants to be loved. So just offering that, it's what I try to do.
Yeah. So I know our church also partners with FCA
Right.
Clayton,
Right.
and I know you have some huge involvement in that as well. So what is it like every Wednesday? Going out there speaking to the teens.
Right.
Like, what do you guys do?
So we have this program called Character Education, where every Wednesday, man, for over 2 years, we're there every Wednesday for all sports, and we use the medium of sports, man, but we try to show them like life skills through it, right? Character skills, right? I tell them all the time, man, this is bigger than sports. This is bigger than straight A's. You know what I mean? This is life stuff, man. So even with that, man, it's just that consistency. It's such this, we exist in such this culture of groupthink, right? So it may be, these students who, want to dive in deeper, right? Who want to, learn more, but because it's not cool that amongst your peers, man, you have to just be there. And these one-off conversations is what we try to utilize. But fruit have definitely, come from that.
Yeah.
We have a young man who attended our church, Jamal Buster, man, and I'm so inspired by this kid, man. At 17, I think he decided to give his life to God, and that was such a mature thing to do, man. It took me, until what I was like 24, 25 to, get my life together, and for him to make that decision at that age is huge. And now we have a leader, right? Somebody of their community, preaching the gospel, and he can relate to them so much better than I can.
Yeah.
So, we have Asia. She got baptized some months ago, and she's doing character ed sessions, right? And they're able to see, apparently, I don't want to put her out there like that, but it's a testimony. Like, she was a bully back then, right? So she had this clout, or, she was a mean girl back there. Back then, but for the girls to see her transformation, it's so much more than anything I could do or my wife could do, right? Yeah. So now we're raising up leaders in that community to positively affect that community. So it's inspiration.
Awesome.
It's huge inspiration.
It's great to see that. It's great to see that y'all actually taking in the mantra of mobilize. You know what I'm saying? Really just raising up leaders, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, preparing the next generation.
Right.
Because just like, even like, I was just thinking about that the other day, even with the teens that been baptized, like, regularly. Like, I was like, dang, it's like y'all had two right behind each other.
Right.
And I was just like, man, I have been seeing them come out the whole time, and it's like even like you're saying, inch by inch, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't, some things just are not a quick, just cause you're there, it's not gonna happen. It actually takes time for them to see example, to them, for them to get comfortable, because they come out of situations, adverse situations that are very different from our own now, or even different from the ones we have experienced before. You know what I'm saying? So it's just good to see that y'all are able to do that and able to give that time. That's a blessing in itself. You know what I'm saying? For the kids to have and able to see, you know what I'm saying, some of the fruit, harvest that
Right.
you're able to acquire through them being
Yeah.
baptized now, and them to go back to their own communities.
Right.
It just is a beautiful thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like God working through y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I mean it's a group effort. First of all, I mean Stephen Neal here. He's another team worker, man. So it's not even just the team workers, man. We tell folks all the time, man. The church experience is more than just a sermon.
Yeah.
Right? It starts in the parking lot. You know what I mean? It starts with them, the host team, and Kingdom Kids. So man, just the hugs, the smiles. You know what I mean? All of that. You know, help shape. You know how they perceive Christianity. So all of that have pointed them to Jesus. So you know, I just had a conversation with them today. We have a team devo after every church, after the sermon. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna hold y'all to a higher standard now. So like, this is y'all ministry. You know, we're here to help organize and support it. But you know, I'm gonna need y'all to step up. So if you see other high schoolers here at church, man, go speak to them, right? You know, we try to host the different events throughout the city every month, man. So like last month it was Get Air, Trampoline Park. We've had, Halloween parties and Christmas parties. There's a bunch of different stuff. So now they're coming up with ideas and things to do. So, dealing with kids, you realize, man, I was the same way. It's all about culture. High school is all about being in culture, and Christianity is so anti-culture, right? So our part is really just to show them, the gospel is relevant even in your lives, right? It's alive and active, and in high school, man, it can help you with the situation you're dealing with in high school. So that's just what we're trying to do, just exposing them to the gospel. Some of them, we start from square zero. Like, they know the difference between Old Testament and New Testament.
Right.
I mean, some of them have never prayed before.
Right.
So, it's just exposing them to the gospel is really just what we're doing, man. It's planting those seeds, and God has definitely made it grow. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I even know, when I used to help with the teams,
right.
back in my old church, I used to always tell them hey man, I just want you to know God didn't make no mistake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like wherever you at, wherever you come from, God has given you the tools to be able to make it out of your situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't be here if it wasn't an opportunity for you right now. You know what I mean? So, I feel like that's just something that we have to make people understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's not no mistake with you.
Right.
Right now, from where you're at right now, is only up from here. Yeah, you're gonna have life happen.
Right.
Life happens. You know what I'm saying? There's some things we cannot control, as humans, you know what I'm saying? There ain't some things we're not able to understand, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying, we've been put in our different areas and situations, just like we may be like as Christians and Christianity in schools and in life is anti-culture, but really it is like culture, like it's full of culture. We all come from different background, makes, you know what I'm saying, all that, different mindsets, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, I'm not like you, I'm not like you, I'm not like you, you know what I'm saying, but we are able to come to the table and present our ideas, you know what I'm saying, and be able to give something to the church, the communities around us, and the people who come past.
Cool. So you're also a part of the behavior management team at Best.
Right. Yep.
So you get called for all the conflicts.
So back in the day when you used to cause havoc in school, and you push that Y button. Right, I'm responding to that.
Oh, okay.
That button got pushed on me.
Right. Yep. That's what I'm doing, man. And man, that's been a process, man, because the kids not gonna respond to you if they don't trust you. Right. So I'm just now, this last maybe month, beginning of the second semester, and I realized I came back for the second semester. They're like, okay, he's because that's the thing, they want to see. That's kind of like with new teachers, they want to see if he's gonna stick around, right? So the whole first semester was really just building trust with them, and building trust, getting to know them, them getting to know me, and understanding, their situations, the context that they come from. There's, for example, man, this kid, maybe wanted to baddest kids at the school, right? One of the worst behavior issues. And I had a conversation with another staff member. I'm like, man, why is he still here? And come to find out that his mom was dating this guy, and he was beating on her, and because of him, they were homeless. And then she started dating a female. So his mom has a girlfriend now, and it kind of got out there. So now he has to play this tough guy, to overcompensate because his mom is in a relationship with a female. So that just kind of changed how I, deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm gonna sit in class one day, biology class, and he talks to the teacher, one of our teachers, like, I'm gonna get the highest, grade in this midterm. I didn't believe it, right? A couple days later, the teacher came to me like, this joker got a 91 on the midterm.
Wow.
Right, and I was like, man. First of all, I was like sad I even judged him, in that way, because I was fed up with him. But just seeing that, that potential in him, and it's just removing all these layers, right?
Yeah.
It's tireless sometimes removing all these layers, man. But these kids, man, are just products of their environment, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them, are victims, man.
Yeah.
I've seen things that some grown men in other settings haven't experienced, man. So I think being a behavior specialist, being in that team, like, it starts with trust, man.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a situation with a student and the teacher, if I come into that classroom, like, because I have a relationship with him, like, hey man, come let's talk. I don't know what's going on. I wasn't here to see what happened. Let's remove yourself from that situation and talk to them and help them get calm and talk to them, man. It's what I try to do, man. I know we budget out like snacks in our budget, so like we have like, because for whatever reason, these Takis and these hot Cheetos.
Oh my God! It's still a thing.
It's like they calm them down. Like,
I don't know if that's the thing. Is it calm down or
how did it become a thing?
I don't even know.
I didn't grow up with this.
I remember the hot
Cheetos.
Why is it just
Taki song?
that red dye?
You never.
Chris is the red dye.
The red dye. I don't know.
It has to be.
It gotta be, because I don't understand. Because I was just like,
That's all I see in their hands.
They'll run through a wall for a bag of Takis.
I got free Takis over here. Ah!
But on a serious note, man, some of them didn't eat dinner, right?
Yeah.
Some of them, come into school the next day and didn't eat dinner. Didn't eat dinner the night before. The last time I had food was, lunch.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get these kids to concentrate when their stomachs are grounded. You know what I mean? So the school that I work at is 100% free lunch.
Yeah.
Right? So that just kind of speaks to just the economic situations that a lot of these students are dealing with. So snacks go a long way. No secret, snacks go a long way.
They do.
I'm trying to get healthier snacks so they don't seem to like the apples like that. like the Takis.
What are you
Right.
doing? Put that back in the bag.
Put some red dye on it.
Okay. So, what do you feel is some things that you have been learning about your character? What are some character growth that you had personally from these different positions that you've been in?
Man, just patience. Shoot, man. I know. Man, if I don't get my quiet time in the morning, I might have a rough day. Right? I might have a rough day, man. So, I think that's everything, man. It's just your personal relationship, man. If you're not right with yourself, man, if you're not in a solid place, you're not mentally in a strong place, right? If you're spiritually not in a strong place, man, you really can't lead anyone in a healthy way, right? So, even with the first two baptisms, like, God made it apparent, because situations revolving those students, man, were like crazy situations, and it was God made it apparent, like, for them to be converted, for them to become Christians, like, that's not Chris doing that. It's not the teamwork who's doing that.
Yeah.
So, just I've grown in my dependency for God, right? So I think that's it, man. It's really just that dependency for God, man. Relying on Him, knowing His promises, knowing, Scripture says, and just my compassion, the fruits of the Holy Spirit, something that I try to reflect on. Just compassion, patience, self-control. Sometimes it can get you there where you lose your self-control. And even my relation with my wife, making sure that's not negatively affected. Not bringing in the problems that I see, because we get draining, right? The situations I see at school, make sure that doesn't bleed into, the house. So those are things that, personally, that I try to, work on. I try to get my push-ups up too, just in case the Joker do want to try it. Right? Just in case they do get confused. I won't ever hit a kid.
Disclaimer.
Okay, so in life, since you have reached a stone, I say a stepping stone in your life, what is like some future goals for you?
Oh man, so well, the plan is to move into ministry full time, which would just allow me more time to kind of. I know that doesn't mean I'm gonna step away from Best. Right? But it's tough being there, Monday through Friday for 8 hours out of the day. So there's no way now, man, I could just leave cold turkey. And because I'm so invested in, you don't make impact in just a short amount of time, right? But it would allow me to do more, right? We're being able to be flexible with my schedule. Do more at North Clayton. We work at the AUC as well. Help with that. We're planning on, starting a ministry at Georgia State. Awesome. You're starting that back up again. That's definitely, the plan going forward. You mean just professionally goals?
All of
right? Right.
Chris.
We have a lot of things in the works. We're trying to breathe life into the community outreach ministry. I think, I dream, that the path is, have a reputation for the ways that they serve the community, right? I see it being a tool of evangelism, right? I don't think these one-off, initiatives are going to change lives, right? Because I've experienced that, man. But it's a way to bring people in, right? And then start to vibe with them and help them with character stuff. I see it being a part of path, just like the arts ministry was. I see them, there's opportunities to help, Haiti. This is an opportunity to partner with a school out there and help them with their business plan, help send supplies over there. So, planning a trip there in August. We personally, we're trying to become, we were talking about, economic empowerment. We're trying to become homeowners, buying land. It's a way to, set that up. So we're trying to become homeowners. But yeah, we're constantly working. I know next month we're doing a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's like an anti-violence campaign. So similar to, March Madness, where we'll have 64 teams and different workshops. So while the teams are waiting, right? So, job readiness or nutritional consultation, whatever. We're still figuring out. So we're setting that up. I'm training for a half marathon, which I don't know what I was thinking. So man, I'm just committed to personally growing. Committed to being just best husband, best disciple, best son I could be. It's really just where I'm at.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, man. It's just been tremendous. I know you mentioned the community outreach. You guys were part of that effort to get water out to Flint.
Right.
What was the tonnage on that?
A lot. A lot. We were sore for some days. Shout out to Jazz.
Yeah, he
held
it down.
Quay,
he did go.
It was amazing, man. Just seeing them, because we ended up sending it to a senior citizen facility. They were just so encouraged that from all down in Atlanta that we were thinking of them, right? Again, these news stories become trendy. It's thought about for a day, and then but the situation's still there, right? The problem is still there. So for them to hear from us is just huge, and now, man, we're trying to maintain that relationship with them. So we're trying to match them up with pen pals within the church, so we can kind of like adopt their grandparent, right? And just encourage them, throughout the years where we were trying to move next with that new partnership. So I know immediately, as far as community outreach, we're planning to finish beautification of John Lewis and Victus Academy. Right. So we've adopted some of their bathrooms. So we're trying to make it all smelling good and painted and whatnot. So that should be next month. So look out for a date. And next Sunday is Medical Day. So March 17th, we'll have doctors and med students, at our church offering free, nutrition consultation, physical consultation, I think body fat measurements, all that good stuff, right?
Basically physical.
I don't want to exactly say that, but I don't get in trouble. But just information from licensed professionals, right? A lot of us don't have that opportunity. A lot of us don't have healthcare. Yeah. So that's a real push. Yeah. We're really trying to get people from the community to come out, man, to take advantage of that. There's gonna be a healthy cook-off competition. So for all you chefs out there who have healthy, delicious recipes.
Delicious.
Right. Don't bring your nasty, healthy food out here. If it tastes like
trying to
earth,
experiment for
we
the
don't
first
want
time.
it.
Bland kale or whatnot. But bring that in. There's a cash prize for that. Not cash prize, it's a prize. I'm not sure what the prize is. So that's
That's like something we don't.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, let me go and cook my beef.
Put a salad together.
Right.
I don't want no weak salad.
Right.
Man, salad middle with Don't go to Publix and bring them Publix eggs, because I know exactly how I do. I'm like, them Publix eggs.
Get your leftovers from the slutty vegan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I ain't had that
still,
yet.
the lines is still too long.
Yeah,
too long.
Go ahead and get y'all the restaurant.
Yeah, we gotta open more of them. Yeah, open some in like the areas we're at too, man. Like we need some healthy eating options.
You know what I want to do on weekends, man? Is just cook barbecue.
Yeah.
Just get my smokers and stuff. Cause I got to when we buy a house, I got a drain for my backyard. Like, I'm gonna just have people over and I'm cooking. Just bring your own size.
Talking to
I got the meats. You know what I'm saying? I got the ribs, briskets, all that. Chicken wings.
Bring the sides.
Right. Bring the sides. Come over. Hopefully I can host you out the team.
Is this healthy barbecue?
No.
I mean, we don't skip that healthy part. This is healthy for your soul.
For your soul.
Emotional. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee some people may even barbecue and get baptized. They were like, what's more of that, man?
It's that good, huh?
That good. Like you eat it and you be like, man, Jesus just touched me on my forehead. I think I want to get baptized today, right now. I'm ready for the Lord.
Okay, final thoughts, special guests. So we just go around and kind of just give final thoughts at the end of the show.
So yeah, I think for the next generation, it's all of our responsibilities, right? You can't. It's easy to fall into that trap of being that jaded. Oh, back in my day, we used to do this, right? I think a lot of just the misdirection from is because the lack of guidance, right? Yeah. Like I said all the time, I can't blame a kid for being a kid, right? Yeah. And a lot of times they just see they just do what they've seen, what they've been taught. So it's our responsibility to make things better, to expose them to the Gospels, right? It's our responsibility, to open up these Black businesses so we can empower, our brothers and sisters, man. So, even I blame, Christians for, part of why the world is the way it is now, man. So it's like, man, instead of us pointing fingers at other people, man. Let's just really take full ownership of what we can do, right? You know, we never want to overstep, you know, the power of God, but we got to make sure that we are doing everything in our power to, you know, make this community better.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Melody.
Sorry, there was something weird that happened.
Oh.
My final thoughts. I think something that kind of just stuck out to me throughout this conversation is like, don't be afraid to be you. I think that's something that I'm trying to stand by as of late. Just kind of understanding my own uniqueness and what I can bring to the people that's, you know, growing up under me, like especially like my little sisters and my nieces, you know, just trying to every single day, you know, like they are a part of that, you know, vision board of like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, you know, other than like God granted me the ability to give me the gifts and talents to be able to glorify Him, number one, and most importantly, but two is like just leaving my mark, my legacy. But it's something that, you know, people, my siblings, you know, and other, you know, youth can say like, I have an opportunity to be able to, you know, be something that's not my environment, or I don't have to choose to be the product of my environment if I don't have to. And I think that's why I'm just so grateful for, one, this platform, but then two, just like being in a room full of creatives, even Chris's wife off camera, you know, creating these opportunities to create more opportunities. And I think even all of us have a passion for youth in some shape, form, or fashion. So like not letting it stop with us, but also like, hey, you know, let me bring you in, come walk with me. You know, like this could be something that you could easily take over, or this is something that you could be a part of and go out and do your own thing, or be empowered and motivated to do your own thing. So yeah, don't be afraid to be you. You don't have to be a part of your environment. There are people out here that are real and willing to be vulnerable about their lives that you can relate to see like, it's not, you don't have to be this way. There's other things that you can go out there and be successful in. But yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Good preach.
Preach, sister.
Final thoughts, Stephen Hill.
Well, my final thought, and it stemmed from the conversation we had at Devo about, you know, kids in school and stuff like that. And my final thought is, education is what you make it to be and how you use it. I think education can be a tool that the student can use to their advantage. You don't have to just be on a conveyor belt of expectations and, you know, grades and stuff like that. It's so much more than that. I believe someone can go to college, build networks, learn what they need to learn, and then start a business. You could be Zuckerberg. You could be Bill Gates. As soon as you learn what you need to know, you can use your networks and what you've learned to empower yourself. And you know, of course, there's gonna be certain fields where, you know, you have to do you have to earn your stripes, of course. But education doesn't have to merely be something that uses people, you know, because it has become that. It has become a system of where you were talking about loans earlier. There's like, why can't an 18-year-old businessman or businesswoman not get a $20,000 loan, but they can get a $200,000 student loan? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a truth right now? You know what I mean? So I think it's a balance. You can either find your calling before school, but you know, be around people like Amela, like what she was talking about. Be around those people who are doing what you want to do, and see what it took to get it done, and what it takes for you to get it done. You know, have a more complete conversation. You know, and so that's my final thought. You know, education could be a tool you can use to empower yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Very
the final
sure.
Man, I kind of like took bits and pieces of all my final thoughts. Woo! What they said. I think I got a little bit left. You know what I mean? But I feel like even just coming like horsey backing off of what you
Horsey
said.
backing.
You know
We
what I
don't
mean?
piggyback around here.
We don't piggyback around.
Just really for the youth. You know what I'm saying? Grown folks, y'all at where you at, get your life together. But for the youth, you know what I mean? This life is not long. You know what I'm saying? It is but a vapor, as it says in James. You know what I'm saying? It's a mist. It fades. Our times are not guaranteed, so it's best to, just like Steve was saying, you need to get the tools that are around you, because education is a tool whether you know it or not. They don't present it as a tool anymore, but you know what I mean, you need to be able to use it in order to just build a foundation on the things you want to add. Just a stepping stone. It's not a forever thing for some people, because just like some people may be good with their hands, they need to go in the route of finding a trade, being a craftsman. You know what I'm saying? Some people are good at talking, negotiating, learn. You know what I'm saying? You may be a political strategist or a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So find out what your it is. You know what I'm saying? And use it. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at it as a tool to make money, but you see it as a tool to create a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing something that you're passionate in, I guarantee you money will come. Don't look for the currency. The currency comes through the energy that you put into it. You know what I'm saying? That's what currency is. That's the definition of currency. So just use the energy that you have and the gift that you are presented with by God, you know what I'm saying, to make impact on this land. So don't look at it just something to further your life. Look at it to further the lives around you. It's like you were saying, like, we are all conduits to the people behind us. You know what I'm saying? We're front runners right now, but we have to, like, once we come around the curve, the final curve, we got to be able to hand this baton off to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's our responsibility as the generation before you to prepare, you know what I'm saying, the lane for you. You know what I mean? Because you're going to finish the race. And after you're going to have to prepare that path for somebody else to run. They got another race to run. It's all about not forgetting that somebody's coming. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes we get into an arena, we close the door. You know what I'm saying? We get what's ours, and we don't really plant legacy in mind, because legacy ain't just for your family, it's your community. You know what I'm saying? We have to think about a legacy that is broader than our front porch. You know what I'm saying? So just we keep that in mind as you grow up. You know what I'm saying? So once you get your hustle muscle up, please have a hustle muscle gym for other people to attend in order for them to get their life together.
Hustle muscles.
Hustle muscle.
Exactly.
Let me use that character.
Okay, hustle muscles. These nuggets.
I told Ed, I said, hey man, all my game is to be used again. I'm putting it out here for other people to get. I might can't get it to the people, but y'all can. But yeah, this was Convrs8. You know what I mean? This is Convrs8. Thank you, Chris Dorelus, for blessing our airwaves and our internet streets with your presence. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Thank you for all you do in this world and provide this good positive energy in the lexicon of this community. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Anything you got to say, Mel? I ain't fought with you the whole
not
time.
on
Chris
air.
brought peace in it.
I initially regretted this formation, but it
I
worked
don't
out.
have anything on air to tell you.
Okay. We ain't gonna fight on that.
We're gonna quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna quit while we're ahead.
So this is Convrs8, or has been Convrs8.
We talked about it.
You know what I mean? So,
Thank you so much, Chris, for
next
coming
time.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Next time, bring your mama there. You know what I mean?
Our next show will be on March 24th.
Okay.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Hey,
we have some exciting things coming in April, y'all.
We do.
Yeah, we ain't playing with y'all. We've been trying to hit y'all on these social media streets. You know.
Yeah, we've
trying to build our media presence.
2 interviews from social media.
Yes.
Exactly. 2 interviews, coming from people we don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be new to us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna bring some new hotness to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody that's been guests on here. Y'all have brought many lights, you know what I'm saying, to our platform. Yep. Y'all are very special in your own ways. And we're glad that you bring your ways to us to provide to our masses, because they need to see the difference in our society.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
bye.
Can y'all look this way?
Oh yes. Oh, picture.
Hold up. Let me look.
She
at
on
the
it?
Let me pull my thing.
Get like a tad bit closer.
Me?
Yeah. Awesome. No. All right. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2. Smile, Darius. I'm those teeth you've been talking about.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. That's great, y'all. Appreciate you
was.
guys, man.
Well, we ran pretty long, didn't we?
2 hours.
2 hours.
That was awesome.
So now it's complete. You both have the experience